oh my God, why? I can't get this thing to work.
What, your
For
chroma
the
cam?
time.
Yeah.
No, the my calendar. I can't get it to stick to 6 o'clock.
Hmm.
That's why I was late because my timer or my notification went off an hour ago, well, an hour and a half ago. And so it's like, it went back to 5 o'clock for some reason.
Hmm.
I was like, okay, I'll just have to remember, and I didn't remember.
Daylight savings.
Well, it's daylight savings plus Arizona time. It seems stuck on
Oh, so
Arizona
yeah,
time.
so it automatically tried to fix it instead of, letting it be normal.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know what happened.
the thing
I
is,
gotta.
Arizona is normal. That's the only state
Damn
that
it.
is.
Yeah, that's the problem is that it didn't change because Arizona doesn't change time zones.
Because Arizona's smarter
That's right.
than most other states.
Yeah, let's just
That's right.
abolish
No,
daylight
no daylight.
savings.
Yes, yes, we must do so.
Oh, I hear it now. I hear it.
Yeah, my settings are just kind of weird. I had to fix some things. But I think everyone should be able to hear the music now, even the people in the audience. And
Sweet.
welcome everybody to the Vomitorium. We are live. And with also a veteran up here, I'd like to wish everybody listening at home a happy Veterans Day. Oh, he's on your other side.
Happy birthday.
I
To me, he's over there.
Yeah, he's on
Whatever.
this side. Yeah.
I'm up here.
We're all crossing arms. There we go.
Pat.
Yes, it is that day, everybody. And unfortunately, since I work nights, I slept through most of the free food, and I'm very upset about it.
Oh yeah, that's my dad's favorite part of the day. Is he just goes around from place to place getting all the free food.
No, I looked and I saw that Little Caesars was doing a free lunch combo, and I'm like, awesome. I woke up like 30 minutes after lunchtime,
Mm.
so not awesome.
You
That's a
you
shame.
should have ran to Dickie's. I think they do theirs as ready between 9 to 6.
I didn't see any for Dickies.
Maybe they stopped doing it. I know last year they did it because my dad went, and obviously I
Yeah,
went
I
with
saw
him and
a
had
lot
to buy my own.
That did it was mostly donuts and shit,
Mm.
which is nice. But when you want free food, or when you want food, you tend to want to be full afterwards instead of wanting more. Marsupial over here coughing up a lung and trying to keep it inside of his mouth.
I'm muted, at least. I got an inhaler this week, like a steroid inhaler.
Oh, trying
Get
to
control.
finally solve that problem.
Hopefully, I mean, I went to the doctor and everything, so it's not good that I've been coughing for 3 months straight.
Yeah.
No, that's very not good.
Hopefully, the inhaler will work. If not, they need to, who knows, go to the next level.
Mhm. I think
Lung
if
transplant.
something's biotic, at this current point in time, steroids are probably a better solution than antibiotics, because antibiotics seem to just be making problems worse over time. Just make your body stronger to fight it off.
At least at that moment, antibiotics will make you worse.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an infection. I don't know what it is, but yeah. Anyway,
Maybe
we'll
you're
see if the
infecting
inhaler
yourself. Maybe you are the infection.
yeah.
Are you the cause of all of this?
I think Arizona infected me, and I'm still
Mm.
Are you our Randy Marsh?
perhaps.
Do we need to go and just beat up Arizona? Just to fight, punch
I
the
think
ground for a while?
Can
Sure.
we
What for?
can we punch Canada instead? Because that sounds like more fun
Yeah.
and
Well,
less
funny
painful.
thing, thinking of Canada,
They
at
wouldn't
least
punch
Canadian Walmarts, seem to be shadow canceling people's PlayStation pre-orders.
I
So
can't
is
say that I'm
Amazon.
surprised.
Yeah, Amazon's doing it too.
Amazon, Amazon's delaying, so some people got it. Like a lot of people got notifications saying you can expect the PlayStation that you pre-ordered. Wait, maybe Xbox. I might be thinking of Xbox. Is that the one that came yesterday? Or
The Xbox was yesterday.
Yeah.
yeah, it was
That
Xbox.
PlayStation's
A
like
lot of people
tomorrow.
it's getting delayed until December 31st. After
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christmas.
A lot of them are having that issue.
Hmm. So you're saying Walmart Canada?
Yeah, the Canadian Walmart's the one that's been caught doing it. We don't know if any other one is. I would assume Walmarts that might have a shortage period are going to just start doing it anywhere.
Well, I do know that Sony has come out and said no in-store purchases for PS5s
Yeah.
for the foreseeable future. So that'll be an interesting thing to have happen. Oh, I'm looking at Genshin because the update came out and it's fucking, well, it's pretty cool. Still have some issues, but overall,
I hate it.
because you got into that quest and now you can't get out of it.
No, not even specifically that, even though that boss fight is
Oh.
stupid. Fuck that boss fight. No, I hate it because of
That
the environmental damage.
Oh yeah. Well, they put out a notice saying that they went a bit overboard. So
I saw the
hopefully,
notice. That doesn't make it any better.
hopefully they fix it, and we'll probably get like 300 Prima gems for it.
Dude, I have
But yeah, it
no
is
bandwidth
a
today.
bit painful, especially for Klee.
Oh yeah, which is the character I use the most because she does so much damage, and it's just like
Yep.
the ground's on fire and I'm dying.
Uh-oh.
Hey,
Wild Dillard appears.
What? Where are you guys? You guys aren't even live. It's
Yeah,
going in a circle.
Oh, is it? Yeah, my bandwidth seems to just like drop out of nowhere. It won't even load my music in the background.
It's working on D Live.
Yeah.
I might have to do it. I'm the only one with a stable internet connection now, ironically.
Turn off this camera. You guys aren't even paying me.
I seem to be the only one who can stream reasonably well.
Yeah, I don't.
La, la,
It was
la.
fine all day. I don't know why it started as soon as we wanted to go live. I think it's because everybody decided to
Good.
come home at the same time.
I think you just answered your own question because we decided to go live.
Yeah.
Well, I woke up for my nap. I'm like, oh, it's 6 o'clock. Let's go and do that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I fell asleep at like 11 o'clock in the morning. Like, what the fuck? Like, I just went and laid down for a little bit because the kid wanted to go like jump on the bed, so I laid down there, and then fucking I just fell asleep.
Mm. It's called you're getting old.
I think I am getting old, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I slept for like 8 hours, like almost, no, 8.5 hours. Got up at like 6 o'clock, like did some, went outside, did some stuff, and came back in, took her to the room because she wanted to jump, and then fucking fell asleep.
Yeah, I think that's actually close to about the time.
Not to mention, I wasn't even watching her when she was jumping on the bed.
Yeah, I want to say that's about the time I went to bed. I stopped
I
doing
made
things
it
a lot
to
earlier.
8 before I fell asleep.
And then I got up at like 4 o'clock.
Yeah, then I woke up, my wife's laying there next to me asleep. I'm like, what the fuck? There's like a party up in here?
Boy. So, how's your campaign doing, Doug?
Yeah, so yesterday we had a little bit of a scare, dude.
You did?
Oh,
Yeah, we went to the ER because my wife's blood pressure was all out of control. She was like crying and she gets these migraines, right? Or she'll throw up for a while and take some Excedrin, but you can't take Excedrin during the first and third trimester. So unfortunately, like her migraines won't go away until she takes medicine. They'll be there for a couple days. But she was like fucking dying in the bathroom. Like she was throwing up and like heaving and crying for, I would say, a good 8 minutes straight. Like just like not even able to catch her breath, just just like nasty throwing up. And I was like, yeah, you're gonna fucking die. We need to go to the ER or something. So we made an appointment at her regular OBGYN, and he was like, yeah, come bring her in right now. I can see her right now before, the What happened?
I don't know.
I don't know. I guess Discord wanted us to not show our faces.
Oh.
Marsupial.
So we went in, and he was like, okay, you're...
We're back.
Ah.
Yeah, that was weird.
Let me check YouTube. Nope.
It's going on my end. I don't know what's up with that. Because I've stream going on my phone.
Evan Hotep says that delay. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
There we go. Yeah, it got all weird on me for a second.
Yeah.
I was just about to post a link to the buckler on Indiegogo.
Oh, there it is. It's up on YouTube now.
Yeah, there is quite a delay though, because looking at it, I only just now saw me showing my phone at the screen.
Yeah, YouTube's got a really heavy
Looks better
stream delay.
on D Live.
Yeah. Let me jump over and see how it looks over there.
So we go there, and they were like, okay, so that's all. We found out the kid was doing fine, right? The heart rate was normal, nothing, no issues whatsoever with the kid, the baby. But then they were like, well, what do we do with this fucking migraine she's having? Right? What are we going to do? And he's like, well, maybe go to urgent care, right? Oh, fuck, you can't do nothing? And he's like, well, I can't do anything here. I was like, okay, so we went to urgent care, and that took like 4 hours, right? The good thing was they have their own little maternity entrance and exit. So it's actually pretty comfortable because they're not letting the dads in and out. Like once you leave the hospital campus, like you're not allowed back in, so you have to be there.
Right.
Because of that, they like put out the spread. Like there's coffee galore, free like muffins and sandwiches and shit. And a nice big lounge, a little area where you can actually go outside and smoke.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's been a bunch of issues with the dads. Like, I can't just be here, So they're trying to make it as convenient as possible.
Yeah. I don't know. That's weird.
But,
I don't know why people can't just,
he's
be
fine.
there.
He's fine now. You don't know why people can't what?
Just be there. I don't get it.
Right? I don't get it either.
I'm surprised the hospital has a smoke pit.
Oh, yeah, they normally won't even let you. You have to go out into the street to smoke. But because there was so many people complaining, I guess they're like, we got to do something. Because I guess guys were leaving, right? They would go smoke, and they would come back, and they wouldn't let them in. There'd be fights happening and shit with security.
Mm-hmm.
So all you got to do is make a ruckus, and then the rules change. Like magic.
That's right.
Squeaky wheel and all that,
Caracas.
So I'm drawing the Buckler's Trans Am, and he has a vanity license plate. It's BUK-NSTY.
Buck nasty.
Hmm?
Very nice. So I am getting lost in Animal Crossing lately.
Yeah, because you finally got to start playing that.
I thought you were playing that anime girl game, the Genshin.
I haven't been playing that much. I started to, but I haven't gotten into it. No, I finally got a Switch this week or last weekend. Actually, I got a Switch. It was broken right out of the box, so I got a second Switch, and that one works.
That's interesting.
Yeah, the screen was all messed up. Luckily, I brought it back the very next day. And they gave me another. They gave me the last one in the store, actually. So I was lucky. I was able to exchange it right away. And this one works. And I've been addicted to Animal Crossing ever since.
Yeah, it's a very addicting game at first. This one kind of slows down to a crawl. Even
Right.
though it's like there's more to do in the game, it's just there's less life to it. Yeah. But it's very fun at first. Like I
guess-
remember spending a lot of hours into that game.
Yeah.
I guess there's more emphasis
For
on
200. Pretty
Sorry, what?
quick. It had over 200 play hours for me pretty quickly.
So you're saying the game ain't got no heart.
Yes, I am saying the game's got.
I think there's more emphasis on like going to friends' islands and interacting. It seems like.
Yeah.
You know. So I know in the other one, there was. I guess in this one you can go to other islands.
Yep.
I haven't done that yet, but in the last one, there was just one island you could go to. There was like a tropical island, and you could go to there and do tours. And
What's the purpose of Animal Crossing?
It's to build up your village.
It used to be to pay off your house.
Yeah. Well, that's the one thing I'm puzzled about, because it seems like people are really getting to the end game very quickly.
Yeah.
I know in New Leaf, it took me, I don't know, 6 to 8 months to get the biggest house you could get. And it took me maybe a couple of years to actually, fill up the museum and fill up my house with all the stuff that I wanted. I mean, it just took forever.
Yeah.
Well, the museum is honestly pretty empty overall.
Do you get more rooms to decorate in the museum?
No.
As far as I know, there's only the aquarium. There's 4, unless they've added any.
No.
One.
You don't even get the room. He's talking about like a New Leaf, and the top floor of the museum, there was rooms you got to decorate.
Yeah.
Those don't exist in
Yeah,
this game.
no.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there was all kinds of stuff to do in the town in New Leaf, and there is no town in this one. I guess they brought some of the stuff down into your village.
Yeah, you have to build it, but not everything's there yet anyway.
Yeah.
Stuff isn't going to be added because they've already got them coming in as wanderers.
Oh, yeah. Is there a Gracie? Is there
There's LaBelle.
coffee shop?
Like, you remember the Mabel sister's younger sister, Label? She goes by LaBelle. She'll show up as a wanderer, and you can get, like, fancy clothes from her.
Yeah, like in the last one, you could upgrade, like, the TNT Mart and, the Able Sisters store. I mean, there's a ton of stuff to do in the town, completely separate from your village.
Yeah.
But yeah, people seem to be getting to the end game very, very quickly, and I'm like, oh, is it gonna not? I'll admit, I paid off my house in one day, my initial house. So it does seem like they've really sped up things.
Yeah, it's really quick, and then the stock market being as high as it is definitely not helping that.
Yeah.
Well, and because there's such an emphasis on going to other people's towns, it makes the stock market even easier than it used to be, so everybody's paying their stuff off really fast.
Oh yeah.
Evan says this is exhilarating.
Yeah. Because I remember half the fun of the last one was just taking the time to get all the money that you needed to upgrade your house and all that stuff. seems like they kind of accelerated all of that.
Yeah.
But at least you get to decorate your island. And the other one, basically, all you could do in the last one, I mean, you could build certain buildings, but other than that, you could plant flowers and trees and stuff.
Yeah,
In
you had
this
the
one, you can put
public
furniture
work projects.
everywhere. Right. In this one, you can manually put furniture, paths. Basically, you can build out your entire island. Like the whole place is your home, basically.
Yeah.
Whereas in the other ones, you can only place stuff inside your house. So I guess that's part of the idea. It doesn't matter as much paying off your house and building it bigger and bigger because you can place stuff anywhere. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, because
Cool.
you don't get to expand the other rooms this time. It's like you get the room and that's it.
Oh.
Yeah. So the
Yeah, that's a
attic
big
and
change.
the basement are a double wide room anyway, like just when you get it. And then the side and back room are just small single rooms.
Yeah, that'll speed things up a lot because that was 5 rooms that in New Leaf you could expand at least twice each.
Yeah.
And so they've gotten rid of basically 10 expansions.
Yeah, it's what, 6 now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's fun so far. I find myself like wanting to go back, but like I'm only on day 2 and there's nothing more to do. I have to wait until tomorrow really for anything more to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really tried to fix the timeline in this one. And it made it to where you get punished harder for time traveling. Because in New Leaf, a lot of people just finished everything right away from with the time travel system. It's really stupid.
Yeah. I guess you could do that if you did like stock market and really like went ahead weeks at a time. I never did that. I'm not even going to do time traveling with this one. Just going to play every day. I've already caught a tarantula. In fact, I posted on Twitter a picture of my storage because I'm waiting for the museum to be built. And I've got a ton of things in storage just waiting.
Yeah, this is back in Arizona. No.
No, I'm not back in Arizona. Where did he say that?
Twitch.
Is that not going to the restream?
It is. He says he's lost. Well, when there's a delay, it's easy to get lost. I don't know why there's a delay. I even went in and I made sure I put it on super low latency. I think it's just the bandwidth today is the problem.
It looks better now.
Oh,
So, yeah,
I'm
that's-
sure it's
that's,
better now. My music cut back in. It's been buffering in the background the whole time.
Oh, jeez. So that's my initial review of a 6-month-old game, 8-month-old game.
Yeah.
It's only that long.
First 2 days have been fun, but I've run out of stuff to do so far, so I'll have to wait till tomorrow.
It happens.
Yeah. I'm gonna get Pikmin 3 though,
Hmm.
as well as Age of Calamity when it comes out.
Where do I find bamboo shoots?
On
That's
the
a good
Bamboo
question.
Island. Where are you
I had
looking
old
for?
bamboo forest in my New Leaf.
Yeah. Where are you
I don't
looking?
know where a bamboo forest is in this game.
What game?
Genshin.
Oh, I don't know where you get bamboo shoots from in Genshin.
Try your luck in the city's restaurants. Do they?
Oh, I thought he was talking about Animal Crossing.
No, it's the only game that he
you
plays.
get. Yeah, it is the only game I'm playing right now. Oh, he doesn't have. Wait, hold on.
And you're playing it right now?
Uh huh.
You're playing
Special
it right
offer.
now?
Oh, okay.
So the buckler's up to 44 backers.
Is it? That's fantastic.
Yeah. $24.77.
let me go look at that. Hold on a second.
Almost up to $2,500.
Buck
Buckler.
thinks that the extender wasn't connecting to me correctly. I'm not even on the extender. I'm on the main Wi-Fi. Because that extender doesn't work.
I
That'll
tried.
teach you.
I tried to back this, but something happened with my credit card. I should probably do it now. Probably could do it now.
I backed it. Number 45.
Most of my friends have already backed it.
I'm going to start with the digital version, but then I'm going to upgrade later. I noticed you added a digital version.
See, I told you I shouldn't have added that digital version up.
I don't know, man. Sounds like you'd be walking away from free money.
I was gonna shame Shabby into supporting the book, but then I came to the realization that no matter how much I shame him, he just doesn't have any money. He lives in some crazy foreign country, and they're constantly bombing his hometown.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
He builds up a couple of hundred crowns in his nest egg, and all of a sudden, the jackboots come in, they toss over his apartment.
Well, it's okay, because, Chabby's a beefcake, so he can take him.
No, apparently he can't. Apparently they get him for everything he's got, like twice a month.
Ooh. What's the point of doing all those strongman stuff if you can't take the jackboots?
So what's the point of exercising at all if you're just going to get shot in the back?
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
So I need, just to put a cannon on your back so when people go to shoot you, just fire back.
Is that a pun?
Possibly.
That was a terrible pun.
Oh, yeah.
I got to go on what's his name's show tonight at I think it's 6. Let me check real quick. What is 8 Central? That's 6 my time,
Yes, yes, it is.
right? Yeah. That guy Philip Diaz that does those. What do you call it? What's that book? The Lost Pages.
I haven't heard of it.
He's also the one that does. He's also the one that did that Magic Cop.
Magic Cop. I don't think I'm familiar with this person at all.
Yeah.
Not familiar with the name of that title.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like it looked like almost like a knockoff of what do you call it? Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Ooh, I
Like everything's
Vice City.
super 80s and pink and fuchsia and fluorescent.
Vice City's my favorite Grand Theft Auto.
I did a fan art for him for their contest. I think I won. It was just the main character and like the reflection in his glasses because there's like this She-Hulk looking chick. She's just like a regular chick but green.
Mm-hmm.
So in the reflection of the glasses, I just did her like laying on the bed with her titties out.
Oh, yeah, I think did I see that? That sounds familiar. I think I saw that.
That's just.
And he has like a white blazer like you would in like a Scarface movie.
Mm-hmm.
Except the cuffs on the blazer are like super loose like a magician. You know what?
Yeah,
I'll share it with you.
Yeah, Evan says digital was a mistake. Is it still included in the physical tier?
No. I don't know. It probably will be. I'm gonna give her a medal.
I know.
All right, look at here. This is the one that I did.
Yeah, I've seen this.
So,
I have
Oh, nice.
some.
Well, let me stop sharing that.
Well, John, you're up to 45 backers now.
Oh, let me go look. Oh my goodness. Let me refresh.
Their numbering system's weird though, because you were at 40 when I backed, but it said I was number 45.
Mhm. Yeah, so that was number 50.
Yeah, because there's also like refunds and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Marsupio. I'm tickled pink.
That sounds like an infectious disease, being tickled pink.
Infectious disease?
Yeah. Like somebody tickled you and passed it on to you, and you just went all pink.
Gross.
Yeah. Either that or it sounds
Gotta
like
get a
some
more bright and vibrant backdrop.
weird sex thing.
There we go.
Sounds like some sort of a mixed drink you get at a trendy bar.
Hmm. Yeah, I could see that too. Be very, very fruity.
So what else is going? Oh, something else happened that I thought about. Oh, I know. You know what the story of the day is?
Mm-mm.
No, what is it?
Darth Plagueis the Wise?
No.
I thought not. It's not a story that the Jedi would tell.
What's the story of the day, Marsupial?
It is that Assassin's Creed decided to change their game based on one
The ableism
complaint by one person.
That's not the story of the day. Why
on
would that be the
Twitter.
story of the day?
thing? Is this the
Because
ableism
they-
thing about the person with the burn description in there? You know?
Yeah.
Of
because
course,
they
that's the
fucking
only
started-
story about it, Metal. Of course, that's what it is.
Wait, hold
No,
on.
it's the other retarded tweet. Somebody-
Wait, what?
So they described someone with a burned face as having a disfigured face.
Oh,
and
I mean,
one lunatic on Twitter.
No, it was horribly disfigured. And you know how upset people get about that. Because
No,
I
it's
said that to
horribly
Mallet like
burned.
one time, and all of a sudden his life is ruined.
No, it said horribly burned. And it said she has a disfigured face.
well, I mean,
Literally, one person on the planet had a problem with that. And so they changed the game. So,
Yeah, I mean, realistically,
on the one hand, good on them for listening, but on the other hand, what the fuck?
I think most burn victims would admit that they have a disfigured face by the definition of disfigured. It is not the way it used to be.
sorry.
I wonder if the person that complained about it had a burned face.
Probably not.
No, they
Nobody,
did not.
nobody
I
who
would
ever
be
complains about
surprised
this shit falls into the category of the thing they're complaining about.
The person that complained about it had a blue mohawk.
Oh, did they?
Probably.
That's very
and
likely.
some gauges. Uh-oh, Marsupial's dying again.
Mm. Yeah, that was actually one of the stories I had pulled up to talk about, too. It's this from Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Like, why? Of all things, I hate people.
Of all things, a game based out of the, 700-800s, having the term horribly disfigured when talking about somebody who is horribly disfigured.
It doesn't even say horribly
I gotta-
disfigured.
It should.
I don't know why they would even say this person is horribly disfigured. I mean, that's like probably the worst writing I've ever seen in any kind of bio.
Yeah.
It's like one of those furry OCs that you always read about.
Oh, the ones that you like to go on and read about people's OC. What is that website that you find it on?
None of your business.
ShittyOCs.com.
Oh, is that it?
Like, oh, she was burned as a child, and then she became evil. But everybody likes it. And also, Jeff the Killer is her boyfriend.
Dude, that site is a hoot and a half. Every time, what is it? It's usually Rick Show when you bring it up, right? There's like nothing going on, and Dillard will just jump on and start reading people's shitty OCs.
I do my best to try to get Rick's channel some kind of life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, some flavor.
It's just fucking dead over there, man. And he won't do anything to you know.
He's in the
make
chat
it
right
not
now
dead.
too.
He's what?
He's in the chat right now too. Hey, Rick.
Yeah, and I'm like, Rick, let's do something. Let's do anything. He's like, I don't know. So I sent him a dog penis. Spice things up.
Anti-blue hair bowl. Yes, it is.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's like there's only so much you can do, you know.
So I say, that's not to be funny. Let me go read some people's terrible OCs.
And there are some pretty terrible OCs out there. I've spent enough time on DeviantArt to see that.
I've been alive long enough to see some of that.
Yeah, the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to read the OC bio for Xylo.
You know what? I suspect it's still better than at least half of the stuff on that site.
No, you would think that, but no. Pramiolos.
This is Harmonic Alchemy, I believe was the term he used.
Oh, Harmonic, your alchemy.
Do you even know what that means?
I'm not sure, to be honest, but I'll figure it out when it comes time to do it.
I'll hold you to it then.
Nobody knows what harmonic alchemy is because it's not a thing.
Yeah. I think it's either
And
between
it can't,
me
it
and
can't
Bullet,
even be a thing.
we came up with like a bullshit thing that it could actually be. And then he just like copied and pasted it right.
Well,
out
you
of,
didn't
the live
give that
stream.
explanation to Mallet because that shit is still booty.
Yeah. Well, it's because like you should have just copied and pasted it. But he's like, yeah, that's the thing, and then he translated it poorly. Yeah. That's funny, like when you explain something to someone and they're not paying attention. It's like, yeah, what he said. So we do
So
have.
how do you feel about? Oh, go ahead.
I would say we had other things to talk about, but if you have something first, what is it?
I was just wanted to ask John how he felt about how his campaign was going.
Terrible. I wanted to be at like 4 million already, and it's not.
Understandable.
How did you think I felt about it?
Oh, axolotls are in the game now.
We're not talking about that right now.
Well, you know what? Makes sense.
Well, we'll have to keep promoting it, and maybe it'll get to 4 million by the end.
Maybe. But not if everybody keeps buying a digital too.
I'll up mine when I get my notification.
Well, you just need like, what,
I'm kidding, Marsupial.
400,000 people to buy the digital chair, and you're already at 4 million?
That's right.
Already.
Yeah.
Basically, there already.
That's nothing. We can get it done. We just need to go harass
Who else is
400,000 people.
Yeah, no problem. You can do that with Twitter in a second.
Or harassing people? That sounds fun.
Yeah. So another funny thing.
I got to get that lame duck president to promote my book.
Yeah, there you go.
That's about the only power he has left in the world.
I know someone who has an in with him. I'll contact Bean.
Mm.
Do that.
She got retweeted 3 times by the president, so maybe she can get him to promote it. What else is going on, Metal?
All right, what I was trying to say is that internet trolls seem to be faking issues with the Xbox Series X just for memes. So they keep uploading these videos that it looks like the Xbox is on fire, like smoke is coming out of it. But if you're even paying attention, and they reveal it too, they're actually vaping and they're blowing their vape smoke into the Xbox and then recording the vapors coming back out. And this is making a lot of people think that the Xbox overheats and catches on smoke and stuff. But this is also not good for your Xbox anyway, because any rational person should let you know that you shouldn't be blowing water vapor into an electronic device. And a lot of these people are actually having real issues with their Xboxes now because they're blowing water vapor into it.
Well, fuck those guys.
Yeah, they kind of deserve it, honestly.
So you're telling me that the Xbox is so fragile that it can't even take moisture in the form of water vapor?
Most electronics can't handle.
There's water vapor in the air.
Not that much.
And it's not a direct blast of the water vapors.
Oh, Mallet probably came in just in time to hear you shit-talking his character.
Good.
Yeah, I don't really think
so Xbox
at least in the near future, we're going to see too many actual physical problems with them. Because I think they've probably learned from the last couple generations when you have problems at launch. Not to say that we won't get physical problems at all. We got to wait till they've been running enough to be stress test. But I don't think we're going to be getting like day one red ring of deaths or anything like that. That'd be kind of a killer for your console launch, as it had been in the past.
That's honestly probably why those videos are happening.
Oh, for sure.
So when is Mallet going to be streaming? I wanted to go stream with Mallet. We haven't talked and hang out in a long time.
I don't know.
Is Mallet still streams?
Yeah,
I never
he
get
streams.
notifications from.
Well, he streams exclusively on Twitch now.
Well, that must be why. Twitch
Yeah, I always get
notifications are crap.
notifications for him.
So yes, Microsoft Xbox tweeted, "We can't believe we have to say this, but please do not blow vape smoke into your Xbox Series X." And I also saw an article complaining about the holes.
Yeah.
the Xbox.
There's just too many holes. I guess it was giving some people trypophobia.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm sorry we want your console to not blow up.
They should have done slits instead of holes, I guess. But, yeah.
No, that's got to be for the Series X Pro.
Or no,
I
the
see.
slits are for the the Series SEX.
Right. My girlfriend has what is it, trypophobia?
Yeah, that's the trypophobia.
So,
that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, she will not be getting an Xbox Series X.
What's trypophobia?
Lots of small holes.
Is that a fear of giant penises?
No.
No, that's foodophobia.
Yeah. So trypophobia is the fear of clusters of holes, specifically where they're not supposed to be. So, like, if you saw a Photoshop image that somebody takes like sponge texture and puts it into somebody's arm, like on their skin or anything, or the lotus holes, right? Like you see like a lotus plant, and they've got the holes, and they'll Photoshop that onto people and everything.
I'm not familiar with a lotus hole. What is that?
You've never seen a lotus plant? Here,
It's like a glory hole, but there are a lot more of them.
I'm about to go trigger some people with trypophobia. Let me go pull up a picture.
So you're talking about like a car grill?
No, because it's normally mainly circles.
Round holes.
Like for whatever reason, like horizontal vents looking like stuff doesn't do it, but it's just a bunch of circles or small ovals.
Here, let me I have a capture for this
Yeah.
somewhere.
Kind of
So they
gives
get
me the
they get all
heebie-jeebies.
weirded out by like screen doors and shit.
I don't know. I don't personally
A
know
bunch of
anybody
weirdos.
with
That's not a real. I
phobia.
don't think that's even a real thing.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody actually genuinely has that phobia.
I don't
I
know.
know
How
someone
long,
who does.
Yeah, it's probably going to take too long to catch
I don't think
up
you
on,
do.
What's it
Or
called?
online.
Let me share.
Just
my
look up
screen.
trypophobia. You'll find plenty of
Yeah.
pictures.
It's spelled Try, like you're spelling try. Po phobia. Trypophobia. I actually have it on
It is
the
a little
screen
bit
right now.
ridiculous. Somebody actually wrote an article about it, but like a serious.
The main one that I pulled up that should be on the stream at the moment. I think it finally caught up. Has somebody's finger, but they photoshopped the head of a lotus into the finger.
Gross.
Yeah. And this
So they're
stuff,
scared of things that aren't actual things.
yeah, for the most part. But they can also be bothered by things that are actually real things, like honeycomb clusters can do it for them too.
But I thought you said it was things that have holes that shouldn't have holes. The honeycombs are supposed to.
Yeah, it just reminds
Well-
them, because these people have a distorted worldview.
Yeah, this is a fake. This is a fake thing. That's not a real.
I'm looking at it, and I don't see how anyone would have any problem with actual Xbox. Because it does, I've seen electronics that look like that.
Well, the problem is these people aren't right in the head. That's the real problem. So they have issues with things that nobody should have any issue with. So it doesn't sound like a real thing. And to some degree, it's not a real thing. But their life isn't real. They're stuck in some weird delusional world.
Well, okay then.
Yeah.
Basically,
Well, that's all the news I could find.
Oh, there's plenty of news. What else I had pulled up? I had something. Oh, did you know that The Rock is rebooting The Scorpion King?
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah, I was just like,
No,
why?
I didn't.
That series was so bad.
that's probably why he's rebooting it. He figures he can make it better.
I don't know, man. Like, I like The Rock. I just don't know if I want to sit through more Scorpion King.
Was there just one movie?
No.
Well, you shouldn't. That's why he should just learn his lesson financially and be like,
You
"Man,
should,
I'm not
no,
gonna do that
I'm not
anymore."
going to go to the theaters to watch it. No, there were several Scorpion
I'm not,
Kings.
Yeah.
Do they all have The Rock in them?
Oh, I don't remember if he was in all of them.
Are you? Wait a minute. Scorpion King film series.
Yeah, I know there's at least 2.
Oh my god. There's like 5.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. There were several.
How did I not know about that? This is insane.
That shit is
When
boring.
did Reddit get rid of the ability to search through particular fucking subs?
I don't know. I don't go on Reddit. Because I don't hate myself.
The Rock?
Well, obviously I do hate myself, so I go on Reddit. But I only go to very particular subs, and I'm trying to fucking find stuff, but for whatever reason, nobody's fucking posted about it.
The Rock was only in the original.
Yeah.
That's probably why I've never heard of the other 4.
So who plays the Scorpion King in the other iterations?
One of them,
The Pebble.
Michael Coppa, people I've never heard of. Victor Webster, someone who's in the Continuum, and Zach McGowan,
Zach McGowan, never heard
someone who's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, that explains why I never heard of him.
Some guy from One Tree Hill.
What?
Rangers Tires. So anyway,
One.
Rock.
That sounds like
Basically-
that sounds like a variation of like Seventh Heaven.
So
Oh,
basically,
One Tree Hill?
The Rock
Yeah, it basically
wants
is.
to just be in the 60s.
You just reboot it from scratch and be in all of them. Instead of making prequels to prequels to prequels.
Reboot. So I mean,
You should just reboot the Mission Impossible franchise.
you
Yeah.
could reboot the whole Mummy franchise.
Again.
They should reboot the Fast and the Furious franchise without Vin Diesel, and then I'd actually watch it.
Or that dead guy.
Well, of course, it'd have to
Okay.
be without the dead guy.
No, not.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
You can send
I don't wanna
active
watch it.
party character. Ignore me. I'm gonna
I
mute.
want to watch Dead Guys.
What other franchises should they reboot?
I don't know, man. They reboot the Vomitorium. Oh, wait, we already did that.
You already did that. You know, it's funny,
So
video
funny.
games don't typically do, like, talk about reboots, but basically, like, every Zelda game is a reboot. Every Mario game is a reboot.
That's why they don't talk about it.
Reboot Pokemon, it's gone to shit.
Yeah, they need to do that. They kind of did that with Pokemon Go, just starting off with first.
No, I mean throw out all the Pokemon and start over from scratch. It's too many.
Just redo, like, have a brand new first 100.
Yeah. Like, you could keep Pikachu because Pikachu's Pikachu and you can't get without that, but just throw everything else out and start over.
No Charmander, no Squirtle.
That's just everything. Gone. Call it Pokemon 2.
That's right.
I think people would flip, honestly. They're getting too attached to everything.
Yeah. They do need to get rid of, like, every generation after generation 2 or so. It's gotten ridiculous. It's gotten so ridiculous. Even
I don't
the
know.
company-
I think they need to do some cherry picking
Mm-hmm.
because there's some season 1 Pokemon that I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah, and there's some really good ones from the later stuff. We just need to...
Like they got to keep like Hawlucha,
oh,
but they got to get rid of like
great. Yeah.
But Hitmonchan,
yeah, they got to get rid of like the really like Muck. They got to get rid of some of the really stupid ones.
Like
what about
freaking
Klefki?
fucking Voltorb, it's just a Pokeball.
That's right.
Yes, they got to get rid of Magmar.
Oh yeah, the duck with the tits on its head.
Mhm.
What, the vanilla ice cream cone?
No, you can keep that one.
That one.
Because when it evolves, you get 2 scoops.
Klefki. That's right. Well, even the company itself can't even give us a game with a full Pokedex.
Actually, that's funny. There was news today. They finally just updated Pokemon Go to where it can talk with Pokemon Home. So you could put your Pokemon Go into Pokemon Home and get it into the newest generation. But the catch is, you can't import any Pokemon from Home that you don't already have in your Pokedex. So you can't actually fill your Pokedex from the stuff you caught and go.
What?
Yeah, this
Okay.
kind of defeat the purpose. You're like, oh man, I'm finally going to fill up my Pokedex. What do you mean I can't fill up my
No.
Pokedex?
What's happening in the chat? I don't even. Yeah, they're going to talk about Star Wars.
Nobody even brought up Star Wars. Except for
Oh,
Evan
yeah,
in the
Rick.
chat.
Rick said reboot Star Wars.
Oh, Rick did. I didn't even notice that. No,
Yeah.
I don't even want Star Wars rebooted. Let's just throw it out at this point. In the trash. Just go.
It always sucked anyway.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Throwing out Pokemon. Yes. There should be like a canon virus or something, kind of like
Like
what was it,
Pokerus.
House of M, where they destroyed half the mutant or most of the mutants. They should kill off all the.
They just go extinct. They can't evolve.
That's right. Well, they just keep like 100, the best ones. Let's say some virus killed off all the others.
Have to keep Ludicolo because Ludicolo is one of the best Pokemon.
Pokevid-19.
What else
Okay,
would we
well,
keep?
I can't.
You got to keep all the
And
Eevees.
DL comes in with. Keep all the what?
All the Eevees. The evolutions.
Oh yeah. Those are good. I like it when Duggernaut is muted. It's good.
Fucking son of a bitch!
I was gonna say, yeah. I shouldn't have said anything.
You shouldn't have, because I never would have noticed.
I saw him screaming. I was like, I like that.
Yeah. It's because otherwise he's just going to keep talking about Genshin Impact.
It pretty much. That's why I muted. But it would be one strain of Eevee could die, and that's how you get the Ghost evolution.
Can it be the fairy one, who's got like flesh ribbons?
Yes. Can we just pretend the fairy one never existed?
Would you rather have every one of them die?
No, just the
Horribly.
fairy.
Become disfigured?
Horribly
No, just
disfigured.
Sylveon.
Yeah.
Horribly
Sylveon's already,
disfigured.
Not that one. Yeah,
So-
just all the Sylveons.
Sylveon already is horribly disfigured. It's got ribbons made out of flesh.
Ugh. Gross.
Most of the fairy type Pokemon are actually fucking terrifying.
Oh yeah.
Except for the ones that they retconned into the...
Metal, you're scared of Pokemon?
No.
No, just a lot of the fairy types are fucking terrifying.
Yeah, like what was one of the weirder ones? Because there's some pretty weird fairy Pokemon.
The weirder...
What's a fairy Pokemon? Is that like a
I mean,
Charizard?
Alcremie's pretty strange.
Oh, so in the later generations, they added another type, which is the fairy type. And they even took some of the older Pokemon and added it to them, like Jigglypuff and Clefairy and stuff like that. But then they made a lot of new ones that are just like, we made this new type, so we need a bunch of new Pokemon to fill it up with. And the fairies, even mythologically, are kind of horrifying beings because they tend to eat people. But the ones in Pokemon, they border on some of the same horror stories that the ghost Pokemon have, right? Like how Drifloon just picks up kids and carries it away.
No, I am not familiar with any of this stuff you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a balloon that's a ghost.
And Spiritom's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. And this ghost, like, will float there, and they'll wait for a kid to grab onto the tail of the balloon, and then it'll just, like, carry them away. It just abducts kids.
Let go, kid. Let go.
Oh, it wraps around the arm. You can't let go at that point. Who was sharing things? Dillard. All right.
Yeah, pretty Who's the dog with the wig?
Oh, what are we watching?
No, that's not a wig. That was the cover of my couch behind him.
All right, so I need to do a panel with the guy with the butler walking down the street to his ex-wife's house, and Harrington's outside watering the grass, and he's like, "What the fuck?" Because Harrington shouldn't be there. Like, how should I do that? I got to convey all that in this one small panel.
It's a lot to convey in one panel. I don't know if I would even try to convey all that in one panel.
You're terrible at making comics, Mo.
I'm not going to argue against that.
I need somebody with some good ideas.
Say, what all are you trying to convey?
More shit to it.
I need to convey the buckler seeing Harrington where he shouldn't be and be like, "Fuck you doing here?" All pissed off.
And you want to do that in one panel?
Yep.
I don't know.
Because it looks like he's already getting out of his car, right?
You
And
do
then
a
the panel
thought,
before
a
that.
thought bubble of.
Say what now?
Go ahead. I was saying, can you do a thought bubble of him thinking, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
I was thinking of the action lines around his head, so you know that he's surprised.
Well, if he was still in the car, you could have drawn a zoom in of the rear view mirror with his hand like adjusting it. So you know he's focusing on it, and you could have had Harrington in the rear view mirror, or the side view mirror, not the rear view. The side view mirror on the side of the car. Because then the mirror would display what's being focused on, and you still have the fact that the buckler's paying attention because he's adjusting the mirror. But it looks like he's already out of the car, so that doesn't seem to be an option here. I'm assuming he's that silhouette in that corner.
That's correct, Metal.
Yeah.
You can always count on Metal to extrapolate the obvious.
I don't know. I'm trying to
Marsupial, Rider Supreme.
I don't know. Is that I thought that was up to the artist to figure out how to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, that is a lot of information to display in one panel.
Well, what else? What else?
I kind of lost my train of thought.
Did you?
Let me look back through my notes.
Well, let's see. Other gaming news.
It obviously wasn't about Genshin because Steven wasn't paying attention.
It's not.
Yeah,
That was
right.
not.
No, we already talked about that earlier.
Oh, now I got 40. I got 46 backers now. I'm at 2,587.
Ooh, nice.
All right. Congrats. Got above 2,500.
Somebody
How
got
did-
the $90 tier.
The $90 tier.
Someone with big bucks.
Oh, Twitch.
Oh, the $90
Apologize.
plus shipping.
Everybody been
What was
following this
that?
this Twitch thing with the DMCA's and everything?
Yeah. The
Right about
DMCA's over music that just so happens to coincide when Twitch is starting their own service for getting copyright-free music.
That sounds like a conspiracy theory.
So what
Sounds
happened?
like Twitch being Twitch.
Okay, let me explain this.
Well, basically, Twitch.
Or not.
Okay.
Alright, so what has been going on is that the DMCA, the Digital Copyright Millennia Act, I think, or something like that, or something about rights. So the DMCA, everybody's familiar with it. If you've been on YouTube, people have been getting DMCA strikes and even just claims forever now. If you happen to have any type of copyrighted music or imagery or information, somebody can claim your video. It's finally coming around to Twitch, who has been kind of skirting free from this for the longest time now, at most just muting a VOD if it happens to have something in it, because they couldn't do anything about it live. Now, with the act hitting them, they can retroactively ban or block accounts that have any copyrighted thing attached to it. What is that noise? Sounded like somebody was cutting something.
Sounded like a paper bag ripping or something. I don't know.
Anyway, they can retroactively affect you for things that aren't even currently live on your channel, things that aren't even VODs.
It's Marsupial putting a bag over his own head, getting ready for some sexy time.
And because all the information is stuck on Twitch, even if you delete a VOD, the information in that VOD is still attached to your account. You can still be hit for things that are no longer actively available to be watched on your account. And thousands upon thousands of people have been hit with this. Even some big streamers have been put into temporary bans and suspensions and stuff like that. And they recently, I think it was either yesterday, just apologized for it. Let's see. Yeah, it was today. They apologized. Even tweeting out, "Your frustration and confusion with the recent music-related copyright issues is completely justified. Things can and should be better for creators than they have been recently. The next few tweets will outline our plan for being better partners to creators." And then they have like this whole spiel going on about what they plan to do with it. And to some degree, this isn't Twitch's fault, but it also is, because they should have been handling DMCA better from the beginning. Everybody's aware of what the laws are, and you shouldn't be setting creators up for this stuff, especially with all of this background information. If a VOD or a clip is deleted from your account, it should no longer be linked to your channel. You know?
What's a VOD?
Video on demand. So it's like a highlight. And the thing is, it stretches so far back that if you had a Justin.tv account, which is what Twitch used to be, you can even be punished for stuff that are connected to your Justin TV account.
I thought Twitch didn't keep that stuff for very.
Oh,
keep anything
it's
for very
all
long.
like there's metadata in the servers for it.
But like, it doesn't keep your videos very long.
Well, it doesn't keep anything you don't archive. But if something had been archived or highlighted, right? Which you have to manually do, even if you delete it, the metadata for that archived video is still in the servers.
So it was dinging people for stuff they'd already deleted.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's really fucking stupid.
You know, why do they have to tweet out a big list of all the things they're going to do? All they got to tweet out is, we're not going to do this bullshit anymore.
Yeah, well, there's
That's
some
all they
things
need
they
to-
have to do. That's the problem, is they have to be compliant with the DMCA. But they should have informed people what they have to do. The problem is that there's no transparency. You know, nobody knows what the rules are, so they get in trouble for the rules. And you shouldn't be able to be banned for things that are retroactive. Like, once you know the rules and then you still break them, that's your own damn fault. Because you know what the rules are. But you can't be punished for something if the rules weren't even clear in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And the rules are constantly changing based off of who they're about.
I mean, we've seen this stuff with YouTube over and over again.
I mean, the law doesn't specify what they need to do.
So every 8 years they have to update the DMCA, so the law does change every so often. I think what was the first one was in 2002, I think, is when the Digital Millennium Copyright Act went out. Something like that. So it's been updated a few times since then. And it's up to, like, it's not Congress. Congress just ratifies it. I think it's the FCC's in control of the DMCA. So some bureaucratic agency that has no, what's it called? No accountability towards any voter or anything like that. And
I think that where these streaming services get in trouble is where they do stuff outside of the law.
Yes.
So the law says you have to do this, and they go above and beyond what the law requires. So it's not them following the law; it's them doing all this extra stuff.
Well, so YouTube found a way of skirting this by not getting themselves involved in the law at all, and allowing third parties to come in and do it for them, right? So, like, a company like Warner Brothers can send their third-party bots to do it, and this is why they strike everything, and then YouTube has to overturn it. That's the only time they actually get involved. And that's typically how the system works. Like, we can't be punished because we're not the ones doing it, you know?
But they're still doing it in reverse. What they should do is say, okay, we're going to do that. You get to do that, but the video or what have you doesn't come down unless you prove it. You know, like they do it in reverse, where they assume that the flagger is correct.
Yes.
And they assume you're guilty until proven innocent.
Yes.
It's completely.
Which this has gone to court a couple times too, and the court has been in favor of this direction, just because of YouTube being a private platform trying to save their own neck.
Which Twitch is probably going to do the same thing, because there are people who have actually had accounts banned because they got retroactively struck multiple times all at once.
Mm-hmm.
Which you've seen that happen in YouTube, where somebody had a bunch of stuff that used to be considered clean, and then the same bot will strike 15 videos and the account's just gone, unless they appeal it.
Yeah.
I'll be back, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, that should be counted as one single event.
It should. These systems are broken. One of the problems is, and it's not entirely the platform's problem. It's partially, the platforms aren't without blame, but part of it is the entire legal field surrounding the internet. There's no real solid ground for laws on the internet unless a specific precedent has been set in a court case, specifically an appeals case, because that's where you have to get to if you want to set a precedent. And this is why there's some people that are champion like an internet bill of rights type thing, which ultimately can only apply to whatever country it's sitting in, but it would give some protections to the citizens of that country. And I very much agree that there should be some type of internet bill of rights. It's kind of like, what is it, the 230 provisions that are getting re-ratified recently or struck down. They have to decide whether that's going to happen. And what that really comes down to, the part they need to look at, is the platform versus publisher dichotomy. Because there's some things that are trying to get the benefits of both without the consequences of either, when you look at things like Facebook and Twitter and stuff. YouTube less so. They actually, when you look through everything, they're not violating being either a platform or a publisher. They are strictly within what a platform has the rights to do. Facebook and Twitter, on the other hand, they're the ones that are kind of skirting the line on whether they are a platform or a publisher, and they could be in
Right.
some legal hot water when it comes to stuff like that. And if there is like an
Well,
internet
that's
bill
why.
of rights, it'll firmly encode this even more of like what rights you have under a platform, what rights you have under a publisher, and so on and so forth. Similar to like real rights. If you go to a book publisher, you have so many rights as a contract with that publisher, but not the same as if you were in an open forum or something like that.
Yeah. Well, in my opinion, when somebody issues a copyright strike or what have you, basically it should do nothing. It should give the owner of the video a grace period where they can respond or not, and it shouldn't take down the video or give them any strikes or anything until they've either responded or chosen not to respond within a
I agree.
period of time.
I agree with that. Mostly because
Yeah,
Hmm?
sorry. I was gonna say, especially since one of the reasons that DMCA is a big problem too, is that people will use it as an excuse to like take all the ads and stuff, like money from the original airing and all the original views away from the creator, even if it doesn't hold, as long as it's not considered an illegal false DMCA. It's still just, well, we got free money during that time, don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, so this is why I agree with a grace period, right? Because from a legal standpoint, anytime that you're putting a suit, the onus is on the, what's it called? The plaintiff to prove that it's theirs, and it's not. The defendant can prove otherwise, but they're not the one that has to bring evidence. They're just trying to dismiss the evidence. That's the point of defense, right? You have to prove that the evidence doesn't count against you. And from YouTube's court's perspectives too, the act of claiming something that is related to your trademark is already the proof that you're putting forward. That is the onus, and they're counting you claiming as the defense, which on paper makes sense. The problem is that they're punishing you before anything's settled. You're getting a preemptive punishment, right? And that's what the claim is overturning. You should get notice of it before there's any punishment so that you can make your counterclaim. Then the system reviews it. And then if you are the one in fault, then your video should be claimed. That's how a functional system should work, because it would mirror how a court case works, just obviously on a less legal standard. They're skipping steps is the biggest issue here. Yeah, no. Skipping steps to save your own tail. The problem is, ultimately, that could come back to bite you, though, like for YouTube and Twitch and all this. If there's a big enough uproar about it, there could be consequences for running the system the way that they do.
Right.
And the only way I could see that happening, though, is if there was a class action lawsuit against them, which YouTube is probably not going to happen, especially because of how split off everything has been over time. Twitch, on the other hand, Amazon could get a class action lawsuit against from their partner specifically, because anybody in the affiliate or partner program is technically a contract worker, which puts them into a shared class. Yeah. So there could be a lawsuit if they don't fix it. That's probably why they're rushing to. They seem to be on track to fix this a lot faster than YouTube ever has been for the same thing. And I think they realize that their affiliates are contract workers, and a class action lawsuit is a very real thing that could happen to them. And if I was a big corporation that realized that too, I would be on the fast track to try to fix this as quick as possible. I wouldn't want a class action lawsuit against me.
So can YouTubers file a class action lawsuit against YouTube?
They've tried.
YouTubers typically aren't put to a contract where they can only stream on YouTube.
Yeah.
Or record for YouTube, and that's where that difference is.
If you're an
As an
affiliate,
affiliate,
you're exclusive
you
to
can't
Twitch.
go to any other. Yeah.
Yeah,
If you're an
which
affiliate,
means
you
if
can't
Twitch is
go to a
blocking
different
your
platform.
ability, it could technically fall under breach of contract.
Yeah, when you're at YouTube, you're basically a freelancer with your own small business, and your contract's not even directly with YouTube. It's actually with a YouTube sister organization under Google, which is Google Analytics and Google AdSense. And that's how you actually get your money through Google AdSense. You don't get it directly from YouTube. So there's all kinds of things with that where there's like what's it called, distance in between there. There's what's it called, deniability and stuff like that, legal culpability. Twitch, you're directly signing a contract with Twitch, like the Twitch department of Amazon, as a exclusive affiliate partner. You cannot multi-stream or do anything like that. You're more than a freelancer. You're a contract worker.
Yep. It is a pain in the ass.
There's been people that have tried to do class action lawsuits with YouTube before and it's been thrown out. Google's a lot smarter when it comes to separating things.
I never understood why on Twitch, if you're a partner, is it affiliate or partner, where you have to only stream on Twitch? You can't do the multi-stream thing.
Once you become an affiliate, if you sign the contract that allows you to make money from Twitch as an affiliate, you cannot do that with any other company. You can't stream on any other platform.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But you also technically count as an employee of Sense, right? For contract work, when they give you your tax information, it's a W-2, not a W-9. So I don't understand how that works though, because since it's outside contract, you don't actually get what's it called? Insurance capability or anything like that.
Wait. Twitch gives you a W-2?
Yeah.
Yep. If you make over a certain amount of money, you end up getting one.
Mm-hmm.
That makes no sense. That's not a contractor. That's an employee.
Yeah. That's how they count it.
Which do they provide health insurance for you?
No.
Independent contractor, so they don't have to provide you with any of those things.
No. If they're an independent contractor, you should get a W-9.
You're supposed to, yeah.
If you get a W-2, they're a big enough company that they're required.
That's why these lawsuits can happen.
That's ridiculous. I mean, if you're getting a W-2, it's a big enough company that they should be required to give you like health insurance and stuff like that. That's ridiculous. Like, that's just wrong. They should be giving you a W-9.
Amazon is one of those companies that is very much able to skirt those.
They've got lobbyists.
Those ideas.
Yeah, because doesn't Forrest tend to have those kinds of problems because he works at a warehouse?
I don't even know if Forrest gets health insurance from Amazon.
Well, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking was his problem too, because he's kind of in the same boat because he works at one of their shipping warehouses.
Yeah, see, this is how they get by too, right? So they don't even use Form 1099. They use the variant Form 1099 MISC for the miscellaneous report.
No, that's the normal 1099.
I think. I also think Target does the same thing for me because I make under the amount that there's required to give me medical.
And then in a certain bracket, they also give you the 1042S instead.
I think part of the problem, because the contracts that you sign when you become partner or affiliate for Twitch, It doesn't request you spending a certain amount of time. Like, you're not required to stream 40 hours a week or
You're
any of
not
that
considered a
shit.
full-time employee or anything like that.
And I think that's the big. That's
Oh,
why you don't get those benefits.
1042S is for foreign workers, so that's for people outside
Okay,
the
that's
U.S.
right. I'm seeing both of them on here. That's
Yeah,
probably just foreign workers counts as a bracket on their own. I see the word bracket
yeah.
attached to it, so yeah.
Since people,
Yeah.
yeah, since people outside the U.S. can be on Twitch,
Yeah.
that's for them.
Because I have
I,
their facts about tax returns and everything like that up in front of me at the moment.
yeah.
But yeah, no, this definitely means that they are liable to a class action. Under certain circumstances, they also distribute W8 and W9.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if I would put the only people that I would expect them to actually um, provide with those benefits to be the people like Dr. Lupo or Ninja, the ones that have the guaranteed upside contracts where they're guaranteed a certain amount of money every month, regardless of their view count or sub count or any
Well,
of that.
that's because they also sign a very specific contract. They're not in the general affiliate or partner program.
Yeah, they're in very special ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ninja renegotiated his contract when he came back.
Your music just came back.
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah, well, Mixer died. Or imploded would probably be a better idea.
Yeah, I used to stream on Mixer.
I liked Mixer. I thought it was handled, like, as a platform design and everything, it was really good. Just not a lot of people were on it.
Yeah, it had some issues with how a lot of its stuff worked, but overall, I think they went too far into trying to build it too quickly, and that caused a lot of monetary issues.
They need to add live streaming to BitChute badly.
Yeah, I just don't know how that's going to work, you know? Like, can you live stream with blockchain? I don't understand how blockchain works well enough. I only have, like, a very cursory understanding of it. Like, I know how it works from peer-to-peer, like, in the sense of, like, how torrenting works. I don't know if there's enough bandwidth peer-to-peer like that for streaming to happen. I'm just clueless in that regard.
I think they'd have to do it a different way and just, store it in the blockchain after, they're storing it. But the live streaming itself, I mean, tons of sites do it. I don't know why they can't just add it. I don't know.
Because I know their servers are really small. It basically just houses the core information and the cache for the site, because everything is peer-to-peer otherwise.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would do it. I know they've been talking about doing it, so they probably have some plan. I'm just clueless to how it would work.
Yeah, they've been talking about it forever. I know a ton of people would love to live stream on BitChute because they seem to be the most reasonable, intelligent platform out there. I mean, nobody has any problems with them.
I mean, that happens when you're the only platform who's not DMCAing everything, censoring people, blocking people, or forcing mid-roll ads.
Yeah.
Well, I think also one of the reasons they get away with so many things is because they're not popular. Because, DMCA is something that's not specific to any platform. It's supposed to be covered internet-wide. But it doesn't start affecting you until people start noticing you.
I don't know. It's getting big.
Yeah.
Seems to be. They just need to add live streaming and it'll explode. I'm telling you. Of all the alt tech sites. That one seems to have the most potential.
Yeah.
They need to partner with. Well, no, they probably shouldn't. I was going to say partner with DLive, but people have problems with DLive because of the Chinese affiliation.
Yeah. I like DLive a little. I like the fact that it keeps your chat even after you're done, or if you jump on or off. One of the things I hate about Twitch is that the chat is cached every single time you hop in, unless you go back to a VOD. So if you leave and come back, you even lose all the chat that was there before if you entered earlier in the stream.
Yeah, I hate that. Like, or if you have like a problem and have to refresh your screen, the chat blanks out. Crazy.
Yeah, that's happened a couple of times when the internet went out here.
But you know that
it'll just go out for a couple of seconds, then it's gone.
They have to have a cache of it because there's the replay chat if you go back and rewatch a VOD or anything, or a clip. So it's like, why can't they just have it there?
Oh. Did we lose Metal?
Seems that way.
I can see you.
Yeah, just like... Yeah, his video lagged and his audio cut out.
Yeah, and my music stopped again. I don't know. I'm getting, like, no bandwidth today. I don't know what it is. I'm not on the extender. I don't use the extender. I did at first, but the thing just cuts out way too much. It's not a very good extender. And I noticed, even if I go on it, I get the same feed from where I am, whether it's that or the main router, even though the main router's way in the back. It's like there's no point in me using that extender.
I don't know. Seems like my upload speed has become the most stable of everyone I know.
Mine seems to be doing pretty good.
Yeah, yours is good too.
For the amount I spend on it, it damn well better do good.
Because I'm just fine and we're using the exact same internet.
In a bad location.
Well, you are also only using it for the call. I'm on the call, and I'm also the one hosting the stream, so that's taking up bandwidth. It's actually probably taking up more bandwidth than the call is, honestly. And even when the music's not working, I also still have tabs up from things for us to talk about. But those should be fine. Once they're loaded, there shouldn't be a problem with that. What else did we have to talk about?
This with this bunny girl you sent me, Metal.
Oh, that's Haruhi Suzumiya.
That was sitting there drinking, waiting for me to get on the stream.
Yeah, it was the unamused Haruhi. That's from the anime The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. A great anime that I think everybody should check out. It's one of my favorite post Turn of the Millennia anime. And it's about...
Oh, actually, the DMCA stuff did remind me. Apparently, there's been a problem recently with people who have been sponsored by Ubisoft getting copyright strikes from Ubisoft for showing Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah. Well, that's Ubisoft.
Yeah, people being paid to show off a Ubisoft game by Ubisoft are getting copyright strikes from Ubisoft.
Sounds about right, to be honest.
This light is too bright. There we go. So, who else? I'm guessing the answer is nobody. Has anyone else seen any of The Queen's Gambit on Netflix?
I don't know what that is.
Me neither.
A new series on Netflix. Highly recommend it. I've watched the first 3 episodes, I think, out of 6 or 7. The Queen's Gambit. It's really good. It's about a girl who plays chess. I'm not sure if it's like a. I'm not sure if it's actually a historical, like, fictionalization. Like if
It
it's.
can't be because girls don't play chess.
That's right. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
completely like fictional or if it's based on anyone.
Fictional story.
I'll be honest. Last time I logged on to Netflix, The Defenders was new.
I just don't use Netflix.
But anyway, I've been watching it, and it's really good. I was afraid because sort of the preview little video of it seemed like it was going to be all left-wing feminazi bullshit, but it's not. It's good. That's just for the way they marketed it for some reason. But it's a really interesting story. It's really you wouldn't think a show about chess is that interesting, but it's really good. I like the characters so far. About halfway through.
Yeah, I have it up, the synopsis, and it is a completely fictional story.
Okay. Well, that's a shame because it would have been cool if it was actually real.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's about a girl who is an orphan, and she learns chess from a Hey, John. She learns it from a janitor who works at her orphanage, and it turns out she's just a prodigy. She actually ends up. She can like see the moves on the ceiling above her at night, and she practices in her head, and she ends up just being a phenomenal chess champion. And of course, goes to all these tournaments, and nobody expects. It takes place in the '60s, so of course nobody expects her to go anywhere. And she beats all of these, masters and all that stuff. So it's neat. And there's all the story about her flirting with drug abuse, alcoholism. So I'm not sure where that's going to go. I imagine it's going to catch up to her eventually in some later episode. But yeah, Queen's Gambit. I recommend it so far. I'll let y'all know on Saturday if I felt like the second half.
Yeah, I just don't watch series that much anymore. I do occasionally log into Netflix, like I still use it, but my problem is like I think I've transitioned so much away from like traditional media sources into digital content like YouTube and stuff like that, that even if there's a series I'm interested in, I get too caught in catching up on like the latest YouTube videos and everything that I just never end up watching the series I'm interested in.
Yeah, I do. I still watch Netflix stuff. Maybe because I'm older. Can't believe you have to be older to be interested in Netflix. But yeah,
John,
now
hop back in, and he already looks done with this conversation.
I mean, I can understand.
But I've enjoyed, Umbrella Academy and some of the Stranger Things, but I'm rewatching Cobra Kai seasons 1 and 2 in preparation for season 3.
See, that's one that'll probably make me log into Netflix and watch something is when Cobra Kai season 3 comes out. Just have to remind myself to do it. I'll keep forgetting.
Did you watch that on YouTube?
Yep.
Yeah, I watched it originally when it was up.
You actually paid for YouTube for that?
No. I had a friend with a YouTube Reddit account and I used his.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I'm gonna pay for YouTube Red.
Somebody's listening to television really loud. Yeah, John keeps flipping his video on and off. Is he doing that, or is it just flipping on and off for me?
No, it's doing it for me too.
It's shown his mic is muted, so I'm wondering if he's trying to get that straightened out. And it's like every time the camera's working, he's still muted.
Yeah. That's a good angle, though, John. I like that.
Yeah, that was a good angle. Yeah, I don't know. I was
And
enjoying
DL
Cobra
is still
Kai.
here.
I think we talked about this before too. I hated where they left it though.
What, Cobra Kai?
Yeah, because it wasn't like at the end of a story arc or anything. They kind of left you in the middle of a story arc that looked like it was spanning 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And
Well.
I hate it when they do stuff like that.
As long as they continue in the next season.
Yeah. I just hope it comes to an end. Or at least a closure. Like, you can have a longer arc, but this small part of it needs to come to some closure by the end of the series, especially in case it doesn't get renewed again. I need my closure at the end of each season.
You don't want any Firefly going on?
No, I don't want any Firefly going on, thank you very much. Burnt me once already, okay?
What happened? They just quit. They ended the show in the middle of a story arc.
Yeah, it went for 1 season and then it never continued.
And then there was Serenity that came afterwards, which kind of wrapped things up. And then there's a graphic novel series that continues it.
All right, sorry about that.
Man. But it sucks that you have to read a series of graphic novels to continue the Firefly storyline.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great when you start with a TV show and then like, okay, to be continued in the graphic novel.
Yeah.
Good luck.
So do you guys know if YouTube is back up again or no?
Let me check. My music's running, so I'm assuming it is. Let me jump over to YouTube. Says we're live.
Oh, it was actually down. I just thought it was screwing up for me because it was just YouTube being YouTube.
Yeah, it was down like worldwide. Everybody was like, "Oh, YouTube's down. Oh shit."
Oh, that's running for me now.
Yeah, that's running.
Yeah, it's running over here. Okay. I might have to hop off in a few minutes. I got to go get ready for. I'm going to be doing a interview over there with the Diaz brothers.
Cool.
Oh, good luck with that.
And I'm going to have to stream tonight.
I'm
I'm going to have to do more Final Fantasy tonight specifically for DL, my biggest fan.
No, you want me to hop on again?
If you want to.
It was some nice conversation last time. Especially because it corrected my faulty memory. I had to go and look it up, and yeah, it is just the GBA version that had the Here Lies Link.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Because I actually remember when I played it. I haven't played the NES version in decades.
Yeah.
Since probably the 80s. But I remembered it saying something about Erdrich.
Yeah.
Well,
I've played it a lot. It's probably the version I've played the most, but Dawn of Souls was the last version of the game that I played.
Yeah, me too. But I played the NES version. Made more of an impact on me because I played that actually as a kid. And I just remember it for some reason. But yeah, I'll do some Final Fantasy tonight on Twitch and be live on YouTube. And then maybe tomorrow I'll do some Pikmin 3 or something.
Rick was trying to
Or
play
Animal Crossing.
with a walkthrough. And like, okay, you can use a walkthrough. What the hell was that?
Someone's phone.
Yeah.
My phone just powered on. I have this theory, right? I have this theory that if I plug my phone in, if I take off my charger from its base and I plug it in somewhere else, it charges real slow. But I have this theory that if I leave it there for a day, it kind of like registers like, okay, we're cool now. And when I plug it in, it'll charge normal. Because every time I take it off to take it somewhere, it always takes like a day for it to get back to normal.
That's weird.
It's all in your head.
Yeah.
That's what my wife said, and I hit her.
That is quite odd.
So what were you saying, Metal? You were interrupted.
Oh, so that's funny. Final Fantasy music started playing too. Rick was using a walkthrough, and I was like, okay, Rick, but you have to stop using the walkthrough when you get to, I think in his version they call it Mount Golg, but originally the translation was the Gurgu Volcano. And I said it because the original game gave you a walkthrough up to that point. So it's not really cheating. The manual had all that information. But after you get to that point, you have to stop using it if you want to play fair.
But what do you mean by a walkthrough? Because I plan on using maps.
So, by a literal walkthrough, in the... Because you had it, right? The instruction manual for the original Final Fantasy was like a 50-page booklet or something like that. It was pretty thick for an instruction manual. And as you flip through, it actually took you from Corneria, where you first spawn, and it told you basically what to do all the way to the fight with Carrie, the Fire Fiend. And that's what I mean by walkthrough. It's like, go here, go there, do this, do that, talk to this person. Okay. All of that was in the original instruction manual.
Yeah.
So it's really not cheating. Yeah, but it's really not cheating because it was stuff that Square gave you for the game originally. Yeah. And after that point, they figured you understand the game enough, you can figure out what to do from here.
Yeah. See, I don't need a walkthrough, but I will need maps. I like using maps.
But it also came with maps, because we even we were talking about that too when we got you the scans. The original Final Fantasy came with 2 placemats. One of it was the world map on one side with like 4 or 5 dungeon maps on the other side. And then the other one was the one that had all the monsters on one side with their like experience, hit points, attacks, and stuff like that. And then on the other side, it had the magic and equipment list that told you what everybody could use.
Yeah.
And it's good.
So I won't feel too bad using dungeon maps.
Yeah, because that game is confusing as fuck.
Is after Gurgu Volcano, Rick's going to be playing Final Fantasy until Final Fantasy 18 comes out.
The game's actually pretty easy to navigate after that point, to be honest. It becomes a lot more straightforward.
Well, you gotta go to the ice cave after that, which is tough, to say the least.
It's tough, but it's not hard to navigate. At least I didn't have it. It's tough, but I didn't find it hard to navigate, at least personally. I don't know about Rick.
No, the fights are, that's what I mean. The fights are tough. Like, especially the one to get the float stone, you fight against something that uses rub like all the time, and it'll wipe you out if you're not careful. So I found the ice cave to be very difficult. But then you get the float stone, and you get the floating, the airship, and then you just go anywhere.
And I think that's why it kind of stops right there. With the walkthrough, they wanted to make sure that one, it wasn't too thick, and 2, the world is so
it opens up. Yeah, it opens up everything.
And it kind of switches. Before that, the world is difficult to navigate, and part of the thing is figuring out where to go and what to do. After that, it becomes more of just challenging fights. So it kind of like switches.
Yeah, it starts out a little bit pretty linear, but then at least the second half of the game is just kind of wide open.
Honestly, I think the only truly hard fight, because Chaos at the end is really just a numbers game. Keeping your people alive and doing as much damage. There's really no strategy to the Chaos fight. I think Tiamat is probably the hardest fight in the game for the level that you'll probably be when you fight Tiamat. Yeah. Well, unless you count Warmech, but that's an optional fight that you don't even have to do.
Cut out again.
I said unless you count Warmech. But Warmech is an optional fight that you don't actually have to do. Yeah.
And there's only like if you just go right through the hallway where Warmech is, there's only a 1 in 64 chance of hitting him or something like that.
But if you do get him, that is a fuck ton of golden experience.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
I never understood the chance. Like, I knew he existed in a small area. Is it 1 in 64 every step? Or is it...
don't remember. They went over this when I was watching a speedrun, because part of the event break is that even at a low level, you can kill Warmech if you know what you're doing. Right?
Yeah.
So they'll event break the game to go and fight Warmech, and they'll like force him to spawn because you can do things to change the RNG. Like you can force it to be certain ways, and they'll force Wormbeck to spawn, and they'll kill him, and it'll give you so much golden experience that you're basically high enough level to fight Chaos if you want to.
Right.
Yeah. And that's how they beat the game in like 28 minutes flat.
Crazy. Yeah, see, when someone says how long does it take to beat Final Fantasy, I don't count that. That's cheating. That's, speedrunners, that's a whole different thing. Like normally, like for a what do you call it, a normie to play the game, it takes
a non-experienced
many
normie. Yeah. I think on average it is a 22-hour playthrough, which is still pretty short by today's standards of RPGs. Like that's a pretty short game.
That's a pretty short RPG, but
yeah. For back then, though, a 22-hour playthrough, that was a lot of time. You weren't getting many games at all that were doing that.
I mean, you're talking about NES, which was one step above Atari.
Yeah.
So we're going from Kaboom, which is like a literally potentially 30 to 60-second game, 22 hours.
This is like just post the original Legend of Zelda, to where now we have batteries inside the cartridge and can save your progress.
Yeah. Which itself, Zelda, the original Zelda, is what, I mean, even for, if you're just going through the game straight without trying to speedrun it, it's what, 2 or 3 hours from beginning to end.
That.
And that was very long for that time period, for 1986. I noticed on the NES, whatever they call it, the NES library that you get on Switch, they added, what is the RPG that just added? It's a terrible.
Oh, I haven't looked.
What did they just added something that was just absolutely terrible.
I know they already had one of the best old school RPGs, Star Tropics, on there.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I love Star Tropics. And they added Rygar, which is it's fun if you like it, but it's only to me. What the hell did they just added Immortal, the Immortal. Oh my god, worst RPG ever. I can't believe they added that to the Switch. It's horrible.
All right, guys, I gotta go. See you later.
Oh yeah, man.
See you,
Thanks for
John.
coming by.
Yeah, back the buckler.
Everybody back the buckler.
That's
What
right.
of this?
Yeah, if you've ever seen, like, AVGN did an episode on Immortal.
I don't think I caught that one.
It's ridiculous. Really?
Yeah.
It's a good one. I mean, that was actually one of their not but for them, high production episodes.
Yeah, I think I actually owned Immortal too.
Really?
I'm seeing like the font on the cartridge in my head, but I don't think I've ever played it. And I think it's because I saw my mom rage quit at it too many times that it made me not want to play it.
There's like spots on the floor that are just insta-kill. There's like items that you get that kill you if you use them.
Well, I saw, I don't know if this came on the Mini or if you loaded it up, because I know you have a lot of custom stuff on there. And it might have been your SNES Mini, so it wouldn't have come on here since it's an NES game. But I saw that you had my both favorite and least favorite RPG on your Mini, which was Faxanadu.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I added that, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
That did not come on the NES Mini, I don't believe.
It is a...
But that was... What was that?
I'm quite sure that it did not.
Yeah. That was one of my favorites, too.
Yeah,
My
I
first
love
and least
it,
favorite.
but it's a horrible game.
Yeah, that's why I got it. In fact, since I got it on my Classic, I've played it and I've gotten farther than I ever did as a kid. I'm like, this game, if you're patient
Yeah.
and you look at some maps and stuff, it's not that hard. you just have to be patient with it, and I wasn't.
Well, you have to be
enough
patient,
play it when I
but
was-
you also have to start developing some mechanical skill, because the game throws bullshit at you really early. Like, you think
Yeah.
you're in the town, you think you're fine, now you're going between the town and the town gate, and all of a sudden there's these spiny little motherfuckers crawling across the floor. And it's like, I haven't even
Yeah.
escaped what I thought was the safe zone yet. Why are you here?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And some other areas where, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You just have to be very patient. If you get low on life, you have to you have to
Yeah.
back off and try again, and yeah. So I have actually gotten much farther than I ever did. What's funny was when I was a kid, like I think it's one of those password games where you
Yeah.
enter a password to continue. And I had a friend who gave me a password. And I don't know if he actually played the game through to the end or if he just got a password to it, but it basically gave you everything and just made you like super amazing, so that you basically have all the armor and everything.
Yeah.
And then you could go to the end. And I did that as a kid. It made it more of a fun game for me because you could actually defeat all the enemies easily. But yeah, I'm a decent way through. Maybe I'll have to stream that sometime.
And here's the thing that always bothered
I'm
me.
like hot.
Because I didn't play it when it was new, obviously. It was before I was alive. But that game and Zelda 2 both came out in 87. Zelda 2 came out in January of 87. Faxanadu came out in November. And by today's standards, especially with the equipment we have, it doesn't take that long to program a game like that. By doing it back then, though, I'm like, is it a ripoff of Zelda 2, or did they both just decide to do the same thing at the same time because of how long it might have taken them to develop the games? Right? Because I could totally see, with the limitations of technology back then and having to basically in assembly program everything on the console, that it might have taken more than a year to program that game. And I always thought it was just like, oh, well, it controls just like Zelda 2 does in the side-scrolling sequences when you're actually in a battle. I thought they just ripped off that game.
Mm-hmm.
But when I look at the
It's possible.
timeline, yeah.
And in fact, before Zelda 2 came out, there were previews and
Yeah.
things in Nintendo Power about it. So they might have gotten started before Zelda 2 came out,
Yeah.
and then at least on some on some art and stuff like that and designs, they would be and then when Zelda 2 came out, then they could have incorporated more the gameplay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because the
you
menus
could
look
say it's a
very
ripoff.
similar, too.
Yeah. I mean, you could say ripoff, or you could say it was inspired.
Inspired,
by. I mean,
yeah,
if you want to
yeah.
be real nice
Well,
about it.
If I would be nicer to a newer game. But, definitely back then, everybody was blatantly ripping off anything that was popular, and you couldn't blame them. And this is why I also say there's a chance that they just happened to decide to work on the same type of thing. With the limits of technology, there were only so many types of games you could make, right? Because even, what was that? There was like I think a Conan game, or no, it was a Hercules game. There's a Hercules game that kind of controls like that, too. And Iron Sword doesn't look the same, but a lot of the mechanics are similar in Iron Sword. There's only so many things you could do back then, but these two games look really, really similar to each other, and they were made within enough time, and this might also be why Faxanadu is notoriously a really buggy game as well, that they could have pumped it out in the time since it came out,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then there's the blatant Zelda 1 ripoff, Hide which was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Now, Iron Sword, on the other hand, obviously was a sequel to Wizards and Warriors.
Yes.
But, I mean, I guess it could have incorporated some gameplay elements from
But
Zelda
that one,
2.
I would say that the newer elements would be inspired because it looks and controls enough like its own thing that I wouldn't just call it a ripoff of anything. Like, you'd have to play both
I
these
mean,
games to
I think
see
that,
the similarities. You wouldn't instantly be like, oh, that's that game.
yeah, and I mean, I think it was more,
Upgrading from the
drew
last
more
game.
inspiration from the original, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree on that too.
So.
That's why I brought that up as kind of like a counterbalance example.
Right. Interestingly enough, I loved Wizards and Warriors when it first came out. I played that to death, and I legitimately beat that multiple times as a child.
I like it more
Actually
than
got
Iron
it.
Sword.
Me too.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I agree. I hate Iron Sword. Iron Sword sucks.
There's so many horrible things about Iron Sword.
Yeah, I absolutely hated
Especially
that. Because I
falling
got that.
just forever.
I don't think I ever beat that. Freeze. That was on my end, I think. So, I missed what you said.
Oh, I was saying, like, you could just fall forever down slopes and stuff. I fucking hate... You could be jumping and a bird drops an egg on you and it causes you to go down and then you start falling down slopes. And lose all the progress that you made. I fucking hate that game.
I mean, Wizards and Warriors did that to an extent, but not nearly as badly.
It felt more fair in Wizards and Warriors.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It also felt like you had more control
problems.
of your character.
Yeah. Yeah, weirdly. It had better controls. And I mean, I even had problems with that game because the swords suck.
Yeah.
In Wizards and Warriors. Like, you had better luck, like, jumping at enemies from below to try and get them. And then when you get, like, the dagger that you could throw, then it got easier. But when you just had the sword, it absolutely sucked. But that was like the only problem, and other than that, it's a fairly well done game. Iron Sword, they really screwed it up. Maybe I don't remember if I beat it or not, but I didn't like it.
That was another game that I used to see my mom rage quit at a lot. But
Mm-hmm.
hold on.
I'll have to. Let me see. Did I have my? I remember what the last thing was that I had plugged into my Elgato.
But like my mom used to rage quit at it a lot. But when I saw her die, I'm like, I think you were just being stupid. I think I could do that. But then when I started getting the areas that she would always quit before she got to, I was like, oh man, it's a good thing you quit before you got here because you would have raged even more. I'm even starting to rage at this game.
Which game was she rage quitting at?
Iron Sword.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that. Did you notice I have that on my NES?
No, I didn't even look. I figured you had it though because we've talked about it before. But
yeah, it's right next to Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Actually, Final Fantasy is right between Faxanadu and Iron Sword.
No.
I guess it's all in alphabetical order. I also have DuckTales, which is a lot of people's favorite one. I just brought it up. I also like. Did you ever play Strider?
Yeah, dude, I love Strider. Strider's great.
Yeah, I've got Strider. That was another one of my favorites. That was another one that I figure a lot of people probably found difficult or found somewhat, some difficult to beat or just, difficult to advance in. But I'm fairly certain I beat that one.
Yeah, because it's trying to be in the same genre as like Ninja Gaiden. A lot easier than Ninja Gaiden by a mile, but still a difficult game.
Yeah, true. I do have Wizards and Warriors on here.
I'm gonna go take a nap.
Okay, man.
I will talk to you later.
Catch you later.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
And then I have Dragon Warrior 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, the ones I like.
Which I don't think I ever played 2, 3, and 4 on the original NES. I don't know why.
See, I
never
owned a copy of 2 growing up. And I played the other ones borrowed from my cousins, but I owned a physical copy of Dragon Warrior 2. So that was the one I played the most.
One. I might have had 2. I don't remember.
So I just decided to look it up because Metal mentioned it and it reminded me of it. The Hercules game that plays like Zelda.
Yeah, where you have to like hold
And
up to jump, and it's got like the dumbest controls ever.
yeah, I
Okay.
just decided to look at that, and almost every Hercules game was made by Titus Entertainment, and they're the same people who made Superman 64. So it no longer surprised me that most of those games didn't work very well.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain AVGN did an episode on that as well.
Yeah, he did. JonTron also did a video on Hercules games, and that one was included in there. It's been popularly talked about.
Yeah. Now my internet's gone for some reason.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Another old game. You ever play Little Nemo Dream Master?
No, but I know of it.
Yeah.
I've seen people play it.
That was like a weird one because, and I didn't find this out till later, but it was like one of those cross-media promotion things. Like before movie-related games and stuff like that were super popular. And this game came out the same like week the movie came out, all connected to like a book of the same name too. And it was like this cross-media promotion. And like apparently Little Nemo, it was trying to be a big thing, and it's a cult classic as a character, but it just never got popularity. It was like one of those hard push things. And you see a lot of that now, but it's weird to think of that back in like the 80s.
Mm. You know, DL was saying it's much harder to program games. Well,
I wouldn't say it's
the thing is, there was less. There's lower expectations. I mean, you're only programming for 8-bit. It's like you're making much easier games, right?
Yeah.
I mean, much less complicated game. So yeah, you had to learn assembly or whatever, but you're doing much simpler games. Oh.
The core difficulty is just trying to do interesting things within the restrictions of the system.
Right. That's true. You had to be very creative. Nowadays, I guess it's not. It's hard to compare.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you just expected to do more, and you're expected to it's expected to have very high quality graphics and all this stuff. I mean, even 2D games, and you got to come up with something original.
Yeah,
it's just gonna.
The bar, though, I think for today and then are equally low. It's just the bars are in different places.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to compare.
Because the bar is pretty low today when you see some of the shit that comes out.
Yeah.
But then you could also be like,
always...
JLN was a company, and look how low the bar was back then, too.
Yeah, LJN.
LJN, yeah. LJN.
I had a friend who had the Jaws game. I used to play that a lot.
Does anyone want to talk about Bubsy 3D?
No.
About what?
Bubsy 3D.
Oh, jeez.
The game that basically killed the Bubsy franchise for years.
Yeah. Wasn't there? Was there good? Were there any good Bubsy games?
I mean, I wouldn't exactly call them good, but that one
some...
was the only one I could describe as horrid dog shit.
Yeah, there were some not awful Bubsy games before that. That's the best I could say. They were not awful.
I just want to know whose idea was it to come up with a super hide line. That's what I want to know.
I don't know. Super hide line. Aye.
Ridiculous. Do you remember? Super hide line. I guess that's different from virtual hide line. That was even. They came out with 3 hide line games. They're all terrible.
Oh, hey, this is one of my favorite OC remixes.
Oh, that's good. You know what? You want to talk about sucky games, or games that killed or temporarily killed franchises? King's Quest Mask of Eternity,
Hmm.
or King's Quest 8. Did you ever play any of the King's Quest?
I've played some of the King's Quest. I don't think I've ever played 8 though.
Nobody's good. Don't. It's
Yeah,
horrible. It's basically virtual Hydlide, only set in the King's Quest.
I think I played like the 5th one. That might be the only one I've played. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a point and click adventure game, and up till 7, or the later ones, 6 and 7 especially, were kind of along the lines of like Sam and Max Hit the Road, and
Which I think that's why I played it too, because I was like really into Sam and Max and other similar type of point and click adventure games at the time.
Yeah, Day of the Tentacle and stuff like that. And then for King's Quest 8, they decided, let's make this a 3D adventure game, along the lines of, Zelda 64 and that sort of thing, or Ultima 9. It was closer to Ultima 9, I guess.
Which of all Ultimas, why would you want to be like 9?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it was the 3D behind the shoulder kind of thing, completely getting away from the formula that worked so well, and just it was terrible, buggy.
That's about the time everybody was doing that, though. We're like, let's just throw the formula that's been working at the wall and just do something different.
Yeah, let's do 3D because it's a thing now. And horrible. Almost killed it until they came out with the one that they came out with on Steam, which I forget the name offhand, but that kind of brought back the, although it was 3D and everything, but it brought back sort of the point and click adventure.
Yeah, because you could do a good 3D point and click adventure. I don't know why, when they're going 3D, they just didn't decide to make it a point and click adventure.
Yeah, which I guess they called King's Quest. So yeah, they came out with one. It was like episodic on Steam. They came out with it in 2017.
I remember that. I didn't play it, but I remember seeing the promotions for it and stuff like that.
Yeah. I only ever played the sort of the demo, but it was good, and they kind of went back to the formula. So anyway, I don't know why I thought of it, because King's Quest Max of Eternity just reminded me of virtual Hydlide.
Speaking of going back to the formula, because we've talked about this a few times, my brother was actually trying to guilt me into wanting a PS5 just for Final Fantasy 16. It's like, no, thank you. It doesn't even look like Final Fantasy. Well, I mean, it looks like Final Fantasy in aesthetic, right? Like, it's got that older kind of like mixed medieval steampunkish look. I saw some Final Fantasy creatures in there, but it looks more like a mix between The Witcher and Souls games than it actually does a Final Fantasy game. I think I'll just go play Bravely Default 2 instead.
Yeah, is that a launch title?
I don't know if it's launch. I know it's at least it's going to be this year. It might be later. I haven't looked at the date, but it's going to be a timed exclusive. So
you mean like exclusive on PS5 for a short period?
Yeah.
For a period
for like 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, it'll eventually be on Series X after a while.
And PC.
What about Switch?
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be on Switch. It might, but you know how these things go.
If it's on PC, I'll get it on PC.
Yeah.
So.
But it's like, I don't need it that soon. I don't give a shit about the PlayStation 5. There's literally nothing about the 5 that I give a shit about.
Well, plus, can you even get it now? I mean,
yeah.
If you didn't pre-order, I don't think you can get a PS5.
Yeah, I think it's going to be at least until the middle of next year before enough units get shipped out that pre-orders aren't already fulfilled on them.
Okay. They don't even have a release date yet.
Okay. Yeah. But it's a timed exclusive for whenever it comes out.
Okay, so if your brother's saying he wants it for Final Fantasy 16, just say, All right. Well, when is that even coming out? It says sometime in 2021.
Yeah, well, he sent me quite a few things. Where's the list? There's like, here's reasons you should be getting the PS5, and it's like, I don't give a shit about any of these things. I'm gonna try to find it.
Was Godfall on that list?
No, but Resident Evil 8 was, and like that's also just gonna be a timed exclusive. I can wait till it comes out on PC.
Is that Spider-Man Miles Morales? Is that even an exclusive?
That's entirely an exclusive.
That, on the other
That's not
hand,
even
I'm
timed.
pretty sure that, yeah, entirely exclusive, because it's a continuation off of the Sony Spider-Man PS4 game, and that was 100% in-house Sony.
Oh yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Demon Souls remake, but that will also definitely eventually hit PC. May not ever hit Xbox, but it'll definitely hit PC. Yeah, Godfall was on his list. So, like, I don't care about Godfall. Sackboy was on his list too, and it's like, I might be interested in Sackboy. I don't know. I'd have to see, like, extensive
No.
gameplay. I liked Little Big Planet,
I don't
but not
think
enough
you
to.
would.
Yeah, I don't like Little Big Planet, even if it played the same. I didn't like Little Big Planet enough that it would get me to buy a system for it.
Yeah, it doesn't really play like Little Big Planet either. It's more of a action platformer.
I mean, I like action platformers, but it's still like, that's not enough of an IP to get me to want to buy a system.
I think the only IP that would get me to buy a whole system would be Zelda.
Yeah, which you basically did.
Literally the only one.
Well, there's a
And then
few IPs.
Yeah,
What's that?
I might get the PS5 eventually, but that's mostly because pretty much anything that comes out for the Series X I would want is probably going to be on PC before too long anyway.
Well, yeah, it's the same thing. Like, of the two systems, I'm more interested in the stuff for the Xbox, but I don't need an Xbox to be interested in that because pretty much everything's coming to PC.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean,
Microsoft is PC and the consoles for normies. That's basically what it's coming down to now.
I'll get a PS5 Slim. Maybe when Dragon Age 4 comes out.
Oh yeah, sure, eventually.
Or
They're supposedly working on it, but I wouldn't hold up any hopes.
or Portal 3. They come out with Portal 3 for PS5. I'll get it.
You just play Portal 3 on your computer. It's a Valve product. It's going to be on Steam.
True.
I have both Portals on the computer. That's how I played them originally.
Well, I mean, Gavin isn't in charge anymore, so maybe the new guy can count to 3.
Yeah, well, he's stepped back to just the CEO position. So, yeah.
So
whoever's running the lower departments for game development, maybe they can count to 3.
Was Half-Life Alyx supposed to be Half-Life 3?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I really hope not, with how
bad it
people
was.
reacted to it.
I think that's why they're not doing a 3, because they've said that the hopes for 3 has been so high now that there's no way they could fulfill it, so they're just going to do spin-off stuff for Half-Life.
What's funny is, I was really addicted to Portal 2. They're basically, there's no reason to do a Portal 3 because like everything that could possibly be done has been done with user mods.
With the workshop.
Yeah, exactly. You can do, there's like ones where the portal gun, like you go through time portals and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Well, I think
They kind of ruined it.
They kind of ended Portal anyway. Like they knew this was going to be the case because the end of Portal 2 is like you're free now, go.
See, I was always expecting like, okay, the next one's gonna take place, in the in the world or something. I don't know. Be more.
Well, how would that work though? Because the only thing that portals actually work on is the walls that are made with the moon rock or the paint splatter from the moon rock. So that like random
Yeah,
walls in the world are going to be made with that.
I mean, it would make the game interesting if you literally couldn't tell what surfaces it would actually work on.
Or if you had a paint gun, you know, like in the second half of Portal 2, where you are literally painting the walls
Yeah.
with that white stuff. But like, if you had a gun that actually shot that stuff out.
So Splatoon 3.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. It was like, how would there be a portal in the gun leading back to the factory so you wouldn't ever run out of paint?
Yeah, I guess. That's right. Yeah, and then mix it with Splatoon 3 so you can like turn into a squidling or whatever, inkling. And swim through the paint.
I
should
think
do a
Portal
crossover.
Is,
You know, that'd be
Portal's
awesome.
perfectly fine the way it is. I don't need any more Portal.
That's fine.
Yeah. There's certain series I would like to see continue, but there's certain ones I'm like, nah, just leave them. I can go back and play it and enjoy it.
I'll tell you what though, if Elder Scrolls ends up being, I doubt it will be, but if it were a PlayStation exclusive, I might get PS5 just for that.
Well, okay,
I
so
won't.
they've already
Oh,
talked
we'll
about
see.
this, and they said they're going to acknowledge the contract with PlayStation, but I think that means it's at most going to be a timed exclusive.
But they got bought by Microsoft, right?
Yes, Microsoft owns
Yes.
Bethesda now, and they
So-
said they will honor the contract. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd want that on
Yeah.
the PC anyway, because they're still using the creation engine, so you're going to need to mod it for it to even work for
Well, I mean, it is an
for 5
upgraded
seconds
version of the
without
creation
crashing.
engine.
Yeah, we talked about this before.
We did talk about it.
Using the same engine doesn't mean what you think it means.
Yeah. No, using
Doesn't
the
mean
same
it has-
people working on the engine is the problem.
Yeah.
Well, still, it's like they just alter the engine a little bit, and every time it's nothing compared to how much they should have.
I will agree
Yeah,
that they
but-
don't ever pump it up as much as they should, because there's way too many problems if they were adjusting it properly.
Mhm.
But
Like,
I think
you
that
can even look at the models in 5,
well, I'm gonna
especially
say
the original
the
release.
bigger problem is the people working on it, because you do get the same people that have been working on it since like late Oblivion. And it's like you can make all the changes you want to your equipment if the same people are using the tools and they haven't bothered to improve things on their own personal end. You're just not going to get different results.
See, I've worked on a game engine before,
Yeah.
and
You know how this
new
stuff works.
upgrades to a game engine can be anything from little tweaks,
Yeah.
like Buck is talking about, to complete revamps from the ground up.
Yeah.
And you could say it's the same game engine, but it's like nothing the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
and-
they never do that.
Yeah, sure, I understand.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, 10 years later, because it will have been 10 years. It's not the same engine.
No. It definitely isn't the same from, I would even say, Oblivion to the modern version of Skyrim, because enough time has passed.
Yeah.
But it's definitely iterative changes, and that they never did a complete overhaul. Like, it would look different now if you were to compare it, but it's iterative how they've been doing it.
Yeah.
You could see it in practice,
But
too.
there's no telling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no telling until we see it whether they.
Oh, the new one could be a
extending it
complete
forward.
overhaul for all we know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be light years ahead, and all the bugs that everyone's been talking about have been fixed, and all that kind of stuff.
I'm not going to hold my breath just because of the track record of the company, but it could be.
It is Bethesda.
Yeah.
It is Bethesda. Buck is probably right.
Yeah, no, because me and him talk
give
about
you
this
that.
a lot too. He's probably right on
Yeah.
this. I wouldn't hold my
Probably
breath
right.
with Bethesda.
Yeah, but I'd say there's like a 10% chance he's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like going back to even like the improvements between the different iterations of Skyrim, even like all the same bugs are still there,
And then they
and
add more.
every iteration introduces new bugs.
Yeah, I hear you. I
Yeah.
hear you.
So there's,
One would
I do
hope.
not trust them at all. I do not trust them at all
Well,
to
okay, so
improve the
this is
system
why
enough.
this is why they need a complete overhaul for the new game before going into it. And this is probably also why, if we're gonna give them any charity, we've only seen a JPEG of the title logo over mountains, right? And nothing else. The last iteration of the creation engine was the one used for Fallout 76. Yeah. So this is why they probably need a full overhaul of the system.
Yeah. Yikes. I mean, that one, people were saying there were bugs in there that like modders had fixed in the previous Fallout.
Yeah.
You're like, we fixed that. Like the users, the players fixed that in a mod. And they didn't even fix it.
But I think it's exactly the same as Fallout 4 too. I don't think they upgrade anything between 4 and 76 because I think it just uses the exact same system.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
There, people were saying we fixed this in Fallout 4 with the user mod, and then they brought it back in Fallout 76. Crazy. I don't know. You know, a big studio like that, I really can't understand why they couldn't fix things like that. They could. They just don't. Don't know why.
You know who they should have come and overhaul?
Well, I mean, Fallout 76. Fallout 76, at least, I'm just gonna gear towards laziness, because almost everything was just bare bones for that entire development period.
Yeah, I know who should come in. One of their subsidiaries. Just get the Doom team to come in and have them overhaul the engine, because they seem to know exactly what they're doing with stuff.
Yeah. They may not know. They may not have the expertise necessary to.
Yeah, maybe
work
not.
on an engine.
Well, I know because they don't
It's
use Unreal in its native format. They have a modified version of Unreal Engine for Doom, which I believe they did the modifications themselves.
Plus, a few glitches I ran into from Dune were more entertaining than anything.
Yeah.
Like, I posted a video on Facebook where it's like you can hit a dead body and he just starts head banging for half an hour.
Uh-oh. Is metal freezing up again?
No, I'm fine.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, he hasn't
they actually don't.
dropped anymore. It's just like lag spikes.
Sorry. They actually upgraded. They're not using Unreal at all. They're using id Tech 7, which is their own engine.
Oh, okay. So they do have the expertise.
Yeah,
to work on
it's id Software's own engine. Yeah. I wanted to make sure that I was correct when I was saying this thing. That's why I was looking it up. They're using id Tech 7. Which is also an iterative update from id Tech 6, which was Quake Champions. So they know how to upgrade from an engine too, because they've been working on their own. So I double down what I say. They should just have the id crew come in and overhaul the creation engine for them. They seem to know what they're doing.
And at least the bad writing and the horrible overall arch of the Elder Scrolls will just be the only problems left.
Well, there's something I don't blame them for some of the stuff that I see in the games though, like certain things, because of how big the games are and how big many files there are in there. Like you'll be playing and you go to like the mage college or whatever, right? And you talk to somebody, and every line they say, they'll have both takes of the line still in there uncut. And you'd think that'd be something that picks up in the game testing process. But there's just files in the game, and the game is so big that you're bound to still miss some things. So certain things I don't blame them. But then when you come across the fact that you have a section of the game that's loaded with water, and going into water at all can crash the game, that's a pretty heavy bug that you can blame on the company.
I personally ran into that problem. I had to completely delete, reinstall, re-update, and re-download the DLC just to get that to work.
Hey, you can buy followers.
Oh man, you
Cool.
can. Too bad I'm broke.
Bet you didn't know that. Big follows.
Big follows. I mean, you
Anyway.
get a lot of followers, or all of your followers big?
It's just
That's a
like
good
one
question.
7-foot tall guy.
What do I want a whole bunch of really small people?
Yeah, I'd rather have a bunch of small people than one big guy, to be honest. I feel like their views would go farther. Like all your followers exclusively shop at the big section in the big and tall shops.
Why does it sound familiar?
It's Final Fantasy VI. A lot of random Final Fantasy songs playing today.
Yeah. It's reminded me of like Luigi's Mansion for some reason.
I actually thought it was Luigi's Mansion remix until he said something.
There you go. See?
Yeah, no, this is Final Fantasy VI. This is the day after, which is after the world collapsed, when Kefka took over.
Right. I knew it sounded familiar.
Yeah. Which you'll eventually get to on stream some year.
Maybe. Possibly. I'm actually not looking forward to well, I sort of am. I'm sort of looking forward to Final Fantasy 2. For one reason, because I'm going to be playing the PSX version.
Oh, yeah. The PlayStation version is way better than the original. I've played a English, a translated ROM. You have to put the hack in there, English hack for it. It's a better translation than the PlayStation version, so at least it's got that going for it. The fan translation did a really good job on that. But it still has all the problems of playing the original version of Final Fantasy 2.
Yeah, I am, and I'm not looking forward because I'm not looking forward to the whole weird advancement system. But, you know, I'll deal with it. I got really far. I've never beaten it.
It's cleaner in that version, right? It's more reliable to upgrade your shield and your health and stuff like that than it was in the original. RNG is just better in general in that one.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, Rick is cheating playing the PlayStation version of Final Fantasy 1.
Well, you could have. It was just on my recommendation that you should suffer through the original version on stream, because I thought it would be good for the audience.
Frankly, the fact that luck is completely broken is actually kind of an advantage.
Yeah, because it doesn't work the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about dark, for instance. That spell does absolutely nothing.
And lightning pretty much always hits, so...
Yeah, there you go. So, I always wondered about that, because I just always assumed that the spell dark was just broken. It didn't actually do. But it's interesting that it's because the whole luck stat is complete.
Yeah, I found that out watching speedrunners play the game, because, speedrunners... A lot of them, because of mining, so they could figure this stuff out, how to manipulate the RNG and stuff. They know more about these games than, anybody else does. Yeah. They might probably even know more than the developers do, because the developers probably forgot some of this information, or maybe didn't even understand how certain things might interact with each other. Mm-hmm. But then these guys have tore this game apart, line for line, back and forth, that they probably have a better understanding than the people who actually made the game.
Yeah, probably. Probably right. At least better than they do now. I'm sure that people who made the game can't remember any of that. I don't remember. That was,
Yeah, I think the only person who remembers anything about it was probably Uematsu, because he has this weird eidetic memory for every song he's ever written. Yeah, so I mean, frankly,
it's not all that different. So it's not, suffering, but it's not really, it's not really all that different.
Well, especially if you have the material that came with it, it's not all that different either, right? So, like, one of the biggest things is that when you go into the shop, it doesn't let you know who can or can't equip certain things. But then if you have the mat that came with it, that solves that problem.
Which I'm looking at. Yeah, I have it up on my screen while I'm playing. And then I guess the only real downside is going to be like if I want to get 99 potions, for instance.
Yeah.
At some point, it's going to be a pain in the ass because you can only buy them one at a time. And then, in the PlayStation version, you can say, give me 99.
Also weird is the leveling in it, right? I mean, it's not weird if you go back and that's the first game you're playing, because everything's kind of balanced for endgame to be close to 50.
Mm-hmm.
But modern Final Fantasy, you're like, okay, so the boss you're probably going to fight at like 75, but it goes all the way up to 99. It's just a really weird way of looking at the game retroactively.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not so bad. The thing is, I would be, if I were playing PlayStation 1, I'd be playing normal mode anyway.
Yeah.
So the leveling would be the same.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And there's just a lot of grinding. Either way, you just have to do a lot of grinding. Because, it's slow.
Yeah, it does feel like you level slower in that game if you're going back to it, because the levels are farther apart. But each level feels like it matters more as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. You get to new areas, and it's like you get your ass kicked until you level at least once or twice.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm experiencing now. I'm trying to get to the elf area, and I can't even spend much time there because I keep, getting poisoned, and then that ends up wasting more gold, and I can't level very quickly. So I'm like, I guess I need to hang out in the ocean for a while and
all them
fight sharks. Somehow fight a shark that jumped up onto the ship and is not dying, but is actually attacking us.
I actually learned something for the first time because I could never make out what that gross-looking sprite was supposed to be. But I was always wondering, playing like Dawn of Souls and stuff later, where the creeps were, because the creeps weren't in Dawn of Souls, but they were. They were renamed. They're the Gigas worms. And then I'm looking closely at the creep sprite, and I look up, because all the original sprites had, like, hand-drawn versions by, what's his name, Yoshitaka Amano, right? The person who does the Final Fantasy concept art and everything. And I'm looking, it's like, that's supposed to be a caterpillar. It's a giant fucking caterpillar. And I'm like, I could never tell that's what that sprite was supposed to be.
It looks like just kind of like a blob with a mouth.
Yeah, but if you look like really, really closely, it's like it's got like the feelers coming out. Its body kind of worms around, and it's the first of the worm category of Final Fantasy monsters that you ever see in the series. Yeah. Now you also get sandworms in that game, which are bigger worms, the sand W that you see later on. But it's just like I never knew that was supposed to be a caterpillar.
Well, I didn't know that, but I did know that creeps were the same as the Gigas worms.
Yeah, I didn't put two and two together. Because they were the same thing. I thought they just replaced the monster altogether.
Oh well, yeah. I figured whatever that they were they were equivalent. Yeah. Because when you're around the elf city, you run into groups of one giant. Yeah. And 2 to 3 of the creeps.
Or in the other version, in the PlayStation, they renamed the giant.
Maybe. But it's the same configuration.
Yeah, it is, with 2 Gigas worms with it.
Yeah, 2 to 3. Sometimes there's 3.
Because the giant and the ogre are the same classification.
Ogre. That's what I meant. Ogre. Yeah. You actually run into one that's called a giant later.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's called an ogre. That's what I meant.
Yeah, it's an ogre and 2
the giants are. I think you run into the giants either in the volcano or the ice cave.
There's a giant's cave, I think.
Oh yeah, there's a giant's cave.
Yeah. Giant's cave. Right? Yeah. There's a giant's cave. You have to go into.
Yeah, that's where we went.
Yeah.
That's where I entered the giants, of course. Yeah, so ogres. That's what I meant. And then there's like green ogres and wizard ogres, I think.
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah. There's actually an area in the upper right corner of that whole elf area, which I'll show you, which I tend to, once I am strong enough,
To
tend to
grind.
stick to. So there's an area of like 6 squares where slightly more powerful monsters appear. I
Yeah.
don't know how I ever figured that out. I think I went up there one time and just happened to run into more powerful monsters,
Mhm.
but they give you more experience. So
They do that.
I'll
I
be going
think that
around.
was intentional for grinding because
Mhm.
since then they've always had a section like that. Like in the world of Ruin in Final Fantasy VI, there's an island where dinosaurs spawn, and you can just grind off of dinosaurs until you're max
Yeah.
level, and they give you a lot of experience. And they do that in like each game.
See,
There's always a spot in different areas, different parts of the game too.
there's an area in Dragon Quest like that too, but I think that might be just a coincidence of the way that they did the zones.
Mm.
I don't know if they did it intentionally, but one of the zones reaches like one block into the starting zone.
Mm.
So if you go from the castle left and then, or west and then south, there's like one row of mountains that you can walk on that has slightly strong, like 1 or 2 levels up, stronger creatures.
Yeah, I don't know if that was intentional or not. Might have been,
Yeah.
but
Well, I've
I
looked at the
know.
zones,
Yeah.
like, and the zones are all like squares on the map, the
Yeah.
zones of different, and that one just happens to overlap. So maybe it was intentional.
Who knows? Yeah. I know Square, I'm not for sure in that game, but later on it is a trend that they did intentionally. You see it pop up a lot. So it could have started
Yeah.
all the way back then that they give you little mini zones for grinding and stuff like that.
Could have been, because
Yeah.
I can't think of any other area except that one little 6 square area that give you like green ogres and like zombies and things that are like a step up from most of the things in that area. So, although I don't know, maybe if you go to the other side of the mountain, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I feel like that might have been intentional. Final Fantasy, at least.
Yeah, man, it just blew my mind. I'm like, I did not know that was supposed to be a giant caterpillar.
Now I'll have to look closer. I bet I could look at it now, but
Yeah. It's in the worm category.
creeps. Let me look at an image.
Especially
Oh,
if you look at the hand-drawn
yeah,
one, you can
that's
see like the caterpillar eyes at the top of its face too.
that does not look like a caterpillar. It looks like a blob with a mouth and little tentacles coming out, or little hairs.
Are you looking at
That does not look
the
like a worm.
hand-drawn one?
No, no, I'm looking at the one from Final Fantasy One.
So the sprite, yeah.
That's right. Oh, okay. So I see the hand drawn. Well,
Yeah.
I see one that's labeled Gygus worm. Okay. Oh. Oh. Now I see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so its body is over to the left.
Yeah, it's like snaking around, and the tail's coming out the back end. Yeah.
Oh. Okay,
Yeah,
now I
for
see
the people
it.
watching, I'm gonna pull up an image of the concept art for it. Open.
Yeah, when you look at the concept art, that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, let me put my browser on. Yeah.
See, especially when they name it a creep, it's like, oh, it's just like some kind of blob.
Yeah, that's what I always thought, because it's hard to tell with the way the sprite is.
Yeah.
But it's also very common in like a trope in anime and stuff, so this might have been a translation thing, right? But
Hmm.
slimy grub are often referred to as creep, and they're also called disgusting and stuff. You even see this with the character of Misty in her reaction to seeing Caterpie for the first time. Yeah. So it's like when I saw it, I'm like, oh, that is supposed to be a caterpillar, isn't it? It's even got like the little caterpillar arms and stuff, and
Yeah.
this is the problem with the limitations of like. So there's technically 8 colors in the palette, but one of them has to be a pass-through color. and they only use half the colors. So most sprites only had anywhere between 2 to 4 colors in them.
Yeah, this one has 1, 2,
3, I believe, and black is the pass-through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's the same palette.
A lot of things use the same palette too. They were really smart about using it for scaling, right? So, because how we saw they used the GR and everything a lot for a step up. So, like, most of the starting monsters, like the wolf and the imp, are technically in the same sub palette as each other. It's just the wolf uses the gold from the sub palette, and the imp I don't think you. Yeah, it uses the gold in the sword, but it's just like the red and the same kind of off-white that the wolf's eye uses. But all these things they're all in like the same palettes and stuff like that. The crazy horse and the wolf have used the exact same colors, or the mad pony, I believe, is what it was called in the original crazy horse later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But could they have sprites that have different palettes on the screen at the same time?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, because the imp has those same 3 colors plus black.
Yeah.
If you ever saw an imp with like a gray wolf, that would have different colors.
Yeah. And then the Goblin Guard, or known as the Gray Imp back then, it still had the same off-white color that everything used, because it wasn't true white. If you actually pull the Pantone for it, it's slightly off-white.
Yeah.
But then it replaces the blue, the red parts with like these 2 blue colors that are pretty close but different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I was thinking that looking at this, the white looks almost orange. I mean, I guess we're sort of a peach color.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to eat dinner after this, and then I'm going to get going on Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I know.
It'll be cool. Oh, it looks like Rick's starting a stream.
Oh, of course he is. It's Rick. Same time every night of the week.
So Rick's not live streaming the game, right?
No, he's just pre-recording it, cutting it up, and putting it up on his Pied Piper of Hamilton channel.
Yeah, I thought about doing that when my internet was shit, but it didn't seem very fun.
Yeah, when I did the Breath of the Wild playthrough, me and my brother streamed it all the way through, and then I just cut it up for like Let's Play sake. And I thought that was just the better way to do it, because especially that game, doing it with somebody else, I didn't want to trim it down, because me and my brother had commentary the whole time, and I didn't want anybody to miss out on that. It's not like if I was playing by myself, I could talk quite a lot, like just keep it going. But I even know there's going to be gaps when I'm focusing on something and stuff like that I would probably trim down a solo playthrough for the sake of everyone else.
Yep. Well, anyway, I think we've covered everything.
Yeah. I had a couple other things before.
Oh.
But
we have time.
We have 7 minutes? But the things that I had to cover, we kind of wrapped up in. Because, I was going to talk about Demon Souls, which has that secret tutorial ending. And they were going to, they're changing that and stuff. And it's just, it's not worth talking about with the time we have left.
I don't even know what that is.
Basically, there's a secret ending for Demon Souls tutorial, because you're supposed to do your first boss fight and you're supposed to get killed by it.
Yeah.
But there was a quote-unquote secret ending for it where you get killed in a different way because if you manage to beat that boss.
Because it's supposed to be teaching you about the death and respawn mechanic. That's part of the tutorial.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But you can theoretically beat it.
Yeah. You still have to die though.
Okay. Right. That's cool. See, Fall Guys Season 3 is going to be bigger than Season 2.
You'd hope.
Yeah.
No, we're just to make it smaller for no reason. We want you to feel cozy.
Yeah.
To be fair, that game looks like it's going to be a lot easier though with the updated controls.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not super interested in Demon Souls. Like, when it does eventually come to PC, maybe I'll grab it when it's on sale, just to play through it again. I don't know, though, if I care, you know? Of course, you know me, I'm not super big into the Souls anyway.
Yeah, I kind of want to get it because the team that actually worked on it, I've seen some of the stuff they worked on, and it seems like they're the kind of people who would fix the problems that the original version had.
Do you want to play it just because the way you want to play the game is going to be slightly less trash than it was originally, just because it won't be broken?
More that I really want the fact that stagger resistance will actually work.
Yeah, I know. Which
So
will make the way you want to play the game slightly less trash.
I guess, whatever.
I've never played any of those games.
Well, the thing is, when I first did that game, I went with a heavy tank build, but because the stagger resistance didn't work, I ended up reaching a point where I couldn't even get further into the game because you could get hit by an arrow and knocked off of a really thin strip of land by the archers no matter what you did.
Yeah. See, the thing is, in most of these type of games, deciding to go full tank is just a doable but dumb way to play the game. But Buck likes playing full tank. It's what he enjoys playing. In that game, it is not impossible, but basically improbable to finish it if you go full tank.
What can I say? It's just how I wanted to do it, and it's not like the games are anywhere near as difficult as people try to say they are.
Oh, no, they're not. They, like the Soul series, and I've said this many times before, and this is a statistic, you could go look it up, on the PlayStation trophy records, the Soul series have some of the highest completion rates per, user of getting all of the trophies on PlayStation. And they cannot be as hard as people claim they are if that many people end up getting platinum trophies on them. Most people are just impatient, and then they blame the game for them being impatient. It's kind of like Breath of the Wild, which a lot of people say, oh, it's the Dark Souls of Zelda games. And it's like, well, in some way, it kind of is similar, because the only reason you're dying so much is because you're impatient and running head first without looking where you're going and getting blown up by somebody.
Or literally running head first and jumping off the plateau and dying immediately.
Yeah. It's like my brother, he didn't do that, but what he did is he had this, Link uses the jump attack a lot in the older games, right? You run, you jump, and you slice. It's a fun thing to do. He would use this plunging attack all the time in Breath of the Wild. That move sucks in Breath of the Wild. Like, you could get some good use out of it if you time it right, but it's not something that you could just throw out all willy-nilly. You're probably going to die more often than not or take unnecessary damage. And he's just, running around, jump attack, jump attack, jump attack, and most of our deaths during that playthrough were when my brother was playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my girlfriend, on the other hand, loves the stealth attack. She uses that all the time. Like the master of the sneak attack move.
It's the most efficient way to play the game, too.
I know. Well, she's much better at games than I am, so.
Because you can kill most things with the stealth attack, which only takes off 1 point of damage onto your weapon. instead of, busting your weapon fighting something.
Yeah, exactly. Does what, double damage or maybe more? I don't know.
Yeah. It does enough that if you have anything but a starting weapon, most things you're going to kill with a stealth attack until you get into the whole master mode.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And with that, we've come to the end of the Vomitorium. So thanks everybody for watching or listening if you are catching this in the podcast form in the future. I hope the middle of it wasn't too boring. We got into some droll for a bit, but you never know what we're going to talk about on this show. And we'll catch you later.
Happy Veterans Day.
Yes. Happy Veterans Day.